There he is. There he is. Wow.
The man, the myth, the
Okay.
legend.
Wow. Wow. It's you must have a lot of important shit going on.
Not tonight.
Let's hear what you no. Let's hear why this took so long to get together, man.
Um, Saw your thing,
Yeah,
sent
yeah,
me a
yeah. You
thing,
know what I'm saying? Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I saw this now, and I'm
And you
like,
were like,
you
"What's
sent
up?
me a
What's up?" I
thing,
see
and
it.
then
I
you're
see
like
it.
Managa, and I'm like, is he
Yeah,
saying Managa or is he saying Managa?
yeah.
And
See,
I'm like, wait, I said, and I'm like, I can't pass this up. I got to see.
I
And
roped
then
you
he's like,
in, man.
gotcha, bitch, and I'm like, you mother effer.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Um, and then when I did try to connect, I didn't realize that I had my phone connected to the hotspot on the iPhone that I have, and then it like wasn't working, so I had to reconnect it to my
Yeah,
home
yeah,
router.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, totally, totally, dude. Yeah, yeah, that totally makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Hmm. Exactly.
So, in all seriousness, man, how you been?
Not bad, not sick anymore. Thank God for that.
What, like, why were you sick?
Please,
Why
also,
are you
please tell
sick?
me,
You are sick.
like,
Why are you sick? I got to.
what are you doing?
I'm calling you stoned, bro. That's the problem. Um, no, but I'm not too much.
You recorded my you had that on recording, right? The last time I called and did my
I actually
Hindu.
did. I actually did, but
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know
thank
how it picked up the recording, because I don't know how fucking Zoom works. Like, obviously, we could hear you, and I was holding a microphone up to the fucking speakers. But what if Zoom only records like you, and then it blocks out like the background noise? That kind of sucks. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I do have it, yeah. And that was pretty funny, man. Like, I was like, trust me, guys. This we like we need to call this guy back. And
Then you never did.
no, I mean the first time, like because you tried to call me, and I was like, oh, my friend Clinton is calling. And I was like because we were in the middle of a jam session, and then I was like, no,
Yeah.
no, but we got to make the time to call him back. And then I was like,
Oh, got you.
but then I was like, but I need to try to record it, so I had to log into Zoom, and it took me like, I don't know, whatever that delay was, however long it took me, that's how long it took me to like get this all worked out. And then
Yeah.
the guy that drums for us, Simon, who I think you would really like a lot, he was like, "Hey, we should just be in the middle of jamming when he comes on." And he knows nothing about you, nothing. He's never even heard of you up to this point, okay? And but he's like, "But we should just do that." And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know if anything's connected. I have no idea if like anything is working. Like if you click the link, and all of a sudden I hear like, "Hey, oh yeah, so hanging on my hair," and the funny thing is like we had literally just been doing that kind of shit like 20 minutes before that. So it was all of a sudden you basically got like instantly spiritually initiated into like a friend group. So like technically you're now cool. You know what I mean? Like you're now
I
cool with.
didn't make a fool of myself with them, did I?
No, but that's what I'm
'Cause
saying is
I
like
would
basically they were like, fuck, man. It actually made me look good because they were like, man, your taste in friends is so consistent that we automatically like that. You know what I mean? Like, so,
that's good. That's
so I
good.
was like, yeah, because because there was one, because knowing you very well, right? If I caught you in a certain mood, I could see you being like, what the fuck you doing, dude? Like all I
I
hear
would
is
never
like,
do that
no,
when
but
you
I'm just
had
saying like
your
I could see you and like if you
yeah.
were like going through a rough patch, and then
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you were
I
trying
get
to
it.
get a hold of me, and then all of a sudden like I called you back in the middle of a jam, you might be like,
Yep.
fucking what the fuck, man. And there would be part of you that even if you were trying to play it cool would be a little bit like, okay, anyway, I'm gonna go back to whatever. And I was like, I really hope that Clinton's not trying to get a hold of me in that state of mind, because then
Oh yeah, yeah.
they're going to get the
No,
wrong impression. You know what I'm saying? But even though I'm just saying, like, it's a possibility when you introduce this variable. Like, I wouldn't give a fuck if it was just me, but I was like, I want these guys to understand why this is why we're
well,
friends.
I think I succeeded well.
Dude, you
So
did.
that's good.
You basically pulled some fucking Jedi shit, man. Like you just you came on the scene perfectly. So Congratulations, man. You're now part of a friend group that you know nothing about. You're in. You're in, bro. So if you ever make your way over to Sweden, we're gonna have some jam sessions. And
I
it's gonna be
plan
fun.
on it one of these days when I can get enough PTO saved up.
God damn. Oh shit, they are looking bulky. Yeah, you got some mass going.
Getting there. I
I
put
swear
on
to
some
God,
weight.
that's impressive, man.
Getting there. Almost back up to 180, and then I'm stopping at 180, and I'm cutting down to 160, like goal 12% body fat.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the mindset.
So I have another kind of goal. Okay, right now, like the frame of mind I'm in right now is like, um, how can I eat carbs and drink 2.8s without becoming fat and maintaining my strength? Okay. Um,
Hmm. Well,
and
to maintain the strength, eat the protein. Got to get the protein in there.
yep.
Um, because that's how I have to do it when I'm cutting. So when I start to cut down in my weight, I eat the same amount, but I eat
Yep.
the same amount of protein. Um, or I eat enough protein to maintain the muscle, and then you
How
only
do you do
cut
that
your
calculation
calories.
though? How do
You
you
only
calculate that?
It's kind of just like a
Do
play
you
it
do you
by
have a formula?
play it by ear. Like generally speaking, it's like okay, if you're gonna cut, right, you want to maintain muscle, you want to lose body fat, you're gonna cut by or you're gonna reduce your caloric intake, right, by like
Yeah.
500 less than you normally would be eating. So like if I just okay, so instead of eating 5 meals during the day, because I've been eating about 5 or 6 times a day, about 5 times a day, and I've been putting on weight, I might have to up it a little bit to hit 180, but then I would reduce it to like 4 times a day and just make sure I'm getting in enough protein. And then in between all that, right, you're working out and then you're doing cardio. So then you're going to lose a bunch of body fat doing all the cardio and doing all the lifting and doing and eating all the protein, but not eating those calories.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's how I'm gonna cut. But yeah, I want to get to that 12% mark. But that's gonna be the hard part. Easy part is for me is putting on the weight. Like if you can force yourself to eat, that's the easy part, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to think it was the hard
Well,
part. Losing the
if you mix
fat's
them,
gonna be what's that?
well, no, but I'm saying like, well, actually, no, I was gonna say something about Mary Jizzle, but I was gonna say like that is one thing where like I think that you and I have a similar sense of like I meet a lot of people who are kind of like they have no problem overstuffing themselves, you know,
Right,
like where it's like oh dude, oh you want me to gain weight? Oh trust me, the only reason I haven't gained weight is because I restrict myself, like you know. But like I
right,
feel like
right.
you and I have always had a because we are sort of naturally skinny guys, you know what I'm saying? And that's a different thing
Yes.
from being like naturally Brandstrom. Now I'm gonna have to, or you know, like
To
it
to be honest, actually, now that I've gotten older, um, like I've put on, I don't know if it's just from like all the weightlifting I've done before, but I mean, when I was going to the gym, and I'm not like super huge now by any means, but like when I started in the gym, I was like fucking average Joe
yeah, yeah, yeah.
again, right? Because I was 140 pounds, and I was like, okay, whatever. 5 months later, I'm like one of the biggest dudes in there right now, aside from like a few other dudes who are
Okay,
fucking like one dude's older than me and he's jacked out of his mind, and there's another dude who's like a previous bodybuilder and he's fucking huge, and then there's this other dude in there who is currently a bodybuilder and he's got a crazy physique.
okay.
But like when I was in there, I'm like, oh my God, everybody's so much more in shape and looks better than me. And then
Well,
like I put on so much weight now and
all
and
right, all right,
muscle
all right,
again.
all right, all right. We're losing the thing here. So I got to respond to that really quick. The
Yep.
thing that's interesting to me that is like what I'm talking about. Okay, first of all, let's define two different things. I
Okay.
think there's a bunch of physiological reasons why somebody as they get older finds it easier to put on weight, because it actually is easier to put on weight,
Yep.
i.e., it's
Exactly.
harder to not put on weight. You see what I mean? So, like,
Right.
as I get older, I'm finding it harder to keep away the, beer belly, but because now I've sort of like I'm in like a recession period of my calisthenics shit. I've been in my own head for like a year and a half or something like that. So now I'm like in like a hibernation cycle, shall we say. And what I'm finding is like, okay, I need to sacrifice like even though like so what I have going for me is naturally I don't really want to eat breakfast. I don't really want to eat lunch. Like
Yeah, me
I
either.
have
I force
yeah,
myself.
exactly. But I have no problem and that's what I was trying to say originally about like our metabolism and how it works. Like I feel like that's something we have in common. What
Yep.
I'm saying is like
Yep.
I don't mind
Sure.
having my first meal at 6 at night. My problem is that if I sit up working on music and I have a couple of 2.8s, then all of a sudden like I make a ramen, in the middle of the night, and that's where I start to get like, it's like a little bit of beer plus a little bit of carbs, and what I've noticed is when I'm really like hardcore on my discipline, it's like I work out, I continue my normal thing of like don't eat until later, but then I also basically don't really eat carbs. It's like I just don't eat the noodle and I just stick to
Right.
protein and blah 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 blah. Where I'm at right now is I'm learning the balance. Like if you're basically being a little bit undisciplined, what actually is the balance where you're just like you start to kind of stack things on. But I'm saying it's easier now. So what I'm trying to point out is that regardless of what's happening now, there is a difference between dudes like us who basically are naturally skinny and dudes who are just naturally beefy. That's all I was trying to point
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Because we both know, like you could probably think of in your own, like you can think of guys you grew up with. You could be like
God,
these
bro.
guys were just
Those
naturally
fucking
beefed
niggas.
out, and
Those
it's just like
cocksuckers.
the farmer's son or whatever the fuck it is. Like they
Right.
just put on mass for no reason. Right. But I don't, I think we've always understood that we were like a different sort of body type. I think we share some similarities in our like body type, me and you.
I guess the thing I was initially trying was gonna say I never got to my point. Um, is that now that I've gotten older, I've gone from being like the ectomorphic type of kid I was, where it was really hard for me to put on weight and I was just naturally skinny, to now where I'm like an ectomesomorph, where I'm in between, where it's really easy for me to lose weight and it's really easy for me now to put on weight.
Yeah. So
Is
what
kind
I'm
of
saying is my like I understand that. My point is that like the framing is
Oh
actually
shit.
basically
How about
your
you take
natural body type is still an advantage as you get older because it is like the thing of like you naturally don't want to overstuff yourself. You naturally don't want to like eat right away in the morning where you need to like refuel yourself or whatever. Um, but you also are like having the effects of like getting older and then having the sort of issues around metabolism that start to happen as you hit mid 30s or early 40s or whatever. I'm saying I agree with you, but I'm just trying to introduce a different framing. You know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, in some ways, having a body type like yours or somewhat mine or whatever, like however you want to say, it, like
yeah.
skinny guys, it's a good
If you
advantage.
got
It's a big advantage later in life because you get the
yeah,
advantage. Like if I want to bulk up now, all of a sudden because I'm older, I can bulk up easier because I have more of an appetite and I'm slowing down on the metabolism, whatever. But at the same
right.
time, if I'm then disciplined, because like I still have it like my whole life, your whole life, you've been
Yeah.
you've had the natural inclinations of a skinny person. And
Yep.
that's all I'm trying to say. Like it's a big difference from somebody who was like, because have you ever noticed that there's like a whole different, and I'm not saying this in a negative way or judgmental way,
Yep.
but there's a whole
Yep.
different pattern for people who grew up chubby,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they get in shape, and like you guys might meet at the gym, you might intersect, and at one pivotal moment, you guys look similar, but the whole trajectory of how
Right.
you ended up there is completely different. Like a kid who starts chubby and ends up kind of like looking fit, and a kid who starts skinny and end up looking fit. I'm not saying the one is not better than the other, but I guess I was just trying to point out that like, we are skinny guys who then like now are
Yeah.
aging, and like so it's actually like you can either see it as, oh, it's easier for me to gain mass and weight, or
Yep.
you can see it like me where I'm being undisciplined right now and I'm going, it's
Hmm.
harder to not gain weight. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And but
Yeah.
at the same time I know that if
It's
I
definitely
just like
though.
fucking take a few tweaks,
We're at
yeah.
the point in our life now, especially the age where it is really easy to put on mass, and I think I that's partly because I lifted for so many years before that. So like when I go into the gym, it's like it's not hard for my muscle memory
Because
to
you
be
got
like,
muscle
oh,
memory. You got that like
yeah,
quote
he's
unquote
like,
muscle
oh,
memory.
he's back at it again. And so,
Yeah,
but when I went in there,
and they're
I
like,
went from
we're
I
getting
went
back
from
in it.
140, I went from 140 to 170, and I've been in there like 5 or 6 months now. I could have done it quicker, faster than that, but I didn't want to get because my stomach's already bloated because I've been eating so much, and so I
Mm.
don't want to like over bloat it, and like because that can cause like the muscle belly, the belly and your muscles to make you look bloated, and I kind of do
Right, right,
because
right.
that's what I did when I hit like 200 pounds. And now it's like, okay, so going back in there, it's been really easy for me to put on mass. Like I've gotten a lot bigger, and my lips have all went up, and now it's, starting to kind of slow down because I'm like 200 pounds, like for my height and everything is like pretty like maximum until and like start jumping on steroids and stuff. Like if I want to hit 200, I gotta jump myself to like a consistent 6 or 7 meals a day and probably like 6,000 calories.
Jesus,
But I've
mother
been
of
putting on
God.
weight and mass now,
Can I just
staying
interrupt
at
you?
like
Can I just
between four
interrupt
and
you
five
because
meals.
you're going
Yeah,
on a fucking tangent here?
yeah,
Jesus
I'm done now.
Christ. I'm messing with you. But the funny thing is, like, I just want to just reintroduce the flip side. What you're saying makes me feel so good because I'm like, does that mean that as a skinny guy, I would actually need to like become a
That's
fucking lard ass to really start gaining a bunch of weight? Like, in other words, like I like
well,
because
no, see,
like what I'm saying,
that goes back.
I'm barely undisciplined with my diet, but like I'm
Yeah, I
undisciplined
get it.
enough that I know that like I could look better right now if I just took.
Right.
But what I'm saying is like the way that you're saying, like I would need to have 6,000 calories. I know that I mean I'm not as muscular as
You
you. I
wouldn't
know
need.
that.
You don't need
I
that
know, I
many.
know, I
No.
know. But I'm saying that it's like it makes me feel like fuck, man. Like if Clinton feels that it's that hard to gain weight, then I'm thinking. Then the flip side of that is like, okay, so what are my boundaries of like when I'm being undisciplined? What can I get away with? Kind of an
Right.
interesting question. But yeah, continue. I just want to say like it's actually in some ways it's a funny thing how when you like flip the same information, it's like shit. It's that hard to gain weight if you have like the kind of that like that sort of like skinny body type and where you don't
Right.
like to
Well,
eat a ton. Like
I mean,
you intermittent fast
it's
naturally kind of.
it's not now though. Like, how much do you weigh right now, Cole?
I actually don't even know when the last time I weighed my. I would say like the
Okay,
last time that I weighed myself, I was maybe like because now my scales are always in kilograms. I'd say like 177 kilograms maybe, which is quite a lot
no,
more than
you're
I've been.
no 177 kilograms would be like almost 400 pounds.
Okay, so I'm thinking maybe 77 kilograms.
So you'd be so okay. So you're
Well,
around
let's say
100 and you're around 150 then. That would
yeah,
be around
probably.
150 pounds because it's
It, it,
2.2 pounds per kilo. So you're pushing. You said 77, so you would be.
or let's
So
say a
yeah,
little
you'd be
less. No, it's probably not. It's
140.
probably not that. It's probably like let's say 73 if I'm remembering correctly.
So
So
you're probably so okay. So that makes sense. You're 145. So like yeah, when I started lifting again,
no,
I
no,
had
no, no,
dropped to
no. It
one.
says 160. But I don't know if that's true. I mean, I could go weigh myself right now. I just want to know. But like,
Okay, so
because
shit, if you hit the gym, if you're that's what you're at right now, and you hit the gym, you would probably lose weight, but or actually you would maintain weight because you're gonna put on a shit ton of muscle and you're gonna burn a bunch of fat. So like you're gonna be fucking you're gonna get up there.
no, no.
Bro, when
But
I started
that's
again, I was
that's the thing.
140, dude.
Now you're
I lost a
inspiring me.
bunch of weight. But I'm telling you right now, because we're
Are
in
we
our
coming full
30s.
circle? Are we coming full circle now?
What do you mean?
Like our friendship. This
I
is
feel
how
like
this
it's.
is.
I know. I feel like
No,
we've
but I'm saying
always
this is
had
how
like a
it
constant.
started. This is how it started. Like we were.
Holy
Remember that?
shit,
You know,
dude! What a thought.
like on MSN
And
Messenger and shit. Like, well, I mean, obviously we had like
holy,
we were forced to bowl together before we became friends, and then we met each other and stuff.
that's
But
crazy, dude. It is. We've come full circle now.
yeah, it's like, well, if you blah blah blah, and then it's like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like,
blah
well,
blah
you
blah blah.
you know, you remember when it was me asking you all the questions about it? Like, dude, how do your biceps look like? How do you look like this? What do you take? What do you do?
It
And
was all
now
the
it's like,
egg,
now you're
man.
asking me the questions,
And the funny
and
thing, yeah, no, it's totally, and that's the
we've
full
come full
circle thing.
circle.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
totally, totally. I love it. I love it. And the
But
funny
I'm
thing
I'm
about
telling you, man, like I'm telling you right now, and I really think you should try it. You and Espresso both, or maybe just you. Like try to get back in, like find a gym. I'm sure you guys have a gym around. Get
they're all
back
over
into
the
the
place.
gym and start out nice and slow. Like go just a couple times a week. Do some biceps and triceps one day, go in and do some chest another day, and let your body rest, and then pick it up a little bit and work into it slowly, because that's how I had to do it to get back into it. And pretty soon you're going to be like, oh, you're going to be feeling better, you're going to be looking better, and then you're going to be kind of addicted to it again.
Yep.
Easier said than done, but like I'm trying to
No,
preach
no,
to
but
you like
but that is the
you preach to
fucking
me. Oh,
thing.
you should
Yeah,
try this, you should try that, and it's like
I
it's
know,
true though. Like,
I
and the
know.
only reason I say this now is my mom's in the gym now. She's been working out for like longer than I have since I started. She started before me. She's been in the gym now for almost 9 months, probably working out almost every day.
That's
Almost,
amazing.
taking days off
That's
that's needed.
fantastic.
Veronica's fucking jacked out of her mind.
I mean,
I'm not kidding. I'm
when
not.
you-
For a girl, she's fucking wildly jacked out of her mind. And so it's like,
she's
wow,
probably also got like a sensei somewhere, so she's like, "Hiya, huh." She's like a girl
she
boss and
is the
shit. Like
sensei, bro.
she's
She knows
fucking, she's gonna be a Mary Sue, bro. Are you saying
I
she's a
don't know who the
Mary Sue?
fuck Mary Sue is.
No, but remember that, they talk about Ray being a Mary Sue because she's like, you never heard that? Are you
Fuck no.
fucking kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me? Mary Sue.
I've heard of like the like the fucking I think Veronica's here actually.
Okay, but let me just tell you, a Mary Sue. Everybody was talking about this
Hold
when
on.
it came to the
Wait,
comment.
you're not gonna care about Mary Sue. I got something better we can talk about besides Mary Sue right now.
All right.
And you're gonna get a kick out of it, and you're either gonna be like, I know your reaction, and you're either gonna be like, dude, and then you're gonna say, do it, or you're gonna be like,
Okay.
I already know the reaction, so here we go. I'm not even gonna say it because I know it. All right, so here's the thing. Me and Veronica are gonna make a video. Me and my sister Veronica.
Hmm.
We're
Hmm.
gonna make a video, and we're gonna use all of our animals. I'm gonna do a bunch of the voiceovers. The animals are gonna be cast in a animal themed Harry Potter. So I'm gonna do most of the voiceovers for like all of the animals, from like Professor Snape and Voldemort, and like some of the most of the ones I can do, and then try to figure out the other voices. So we're gonna do that. But to start out, we needed a good theme song. So what I you already know. Just let me talk here. So what I did was, and I don't need to say it because you already know. I went on Suno
Ah.
and I did AI music for it, trying to make a song for it. Got the lyrics down, got the song done. Um, I'm still trying to figure out. Oh yeah, he had to take that. I'm still trying to figure out how to get the prompts right to get the song exactly how I wanted it, but I've got
Yep.
like a rough draft final copy that I have. I
Yep.
still have
Yep.
to get on my computer and fuck with it and get it all down.
Yep.
But I'm not gonna. So I was thinking I'm gonna send it to you, but I'm letting you know beforehand and be like, dude, check this out, because you're automatically gonna know, because I already see all the quirks in it, and it's super obvious, right? AI
Hey, okay.
slop.
You know what? We already prepared for this, right? Right? We have it literally, like we have an episode where we've done to get. Well, no, I might have cut that because it was too much about a certain person. Bottom line is, we've already talked about this. We agreed. I said it's inevitable that you're eventually going to share some AI music with me that you did, but just please don't say like, "Hey man, I've been Yeah, I've been making some music, man. So what's up? Like, and then you basically did that whole reenactment. We both knew what we were talking about, and
Yeah.
you completely, with all integrity, you have presented this the exact right way. And I, like I said, I'm not morally against AI music or anything like that. I think that the culture around it has to be honest and transparent. You know what I mean? Like
Right. Yeah, I feel
I
that.
think that
I
art
feel
should
that.
be that. Like obviously you can never fully know about anybody or whatever, but I think like at the very least as a moral virtue, since we have to live with this thing, like if I didn't use AI on a song and I'm being honest
Right.
about it, I want that to be understood that like I'm probably being honest, and eventually I would like to be able to prove it with my own personal AI that runs through all my files and all this kind of
Right.
shit.
But what I want to do with the song though is I got it where I want it, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like going in and because I haven't really done any editing. It's literally just been prompting it to kind of get it to where I
Yeah,
need
yeah,
it to
yeah.
be.
But you're
And
basically
and
prompting and iterating, right?
yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. And right now I'm kind of at the point where it's like I want to go in and add. If you can, because you can use it and you can go in. I can record my voice if I want to and throw it on there. I can go in there and add my own instrumentals and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm at. But it's like that's kind of what I'm working on right now for that before we get started. But I was like, oh my God, Cole's going to get a kick out of this.
No, I'm
And
not.
so
First of all, I'm
because
not
you can
surprised.
totally tell like it's when it's like super infant like when it's like you can tell like you prompt it and it takes certain parts of the song and the verses and all that and it totally like it's always kind of the same type of thing like
Yeah,
it does
yeah,
this
yeah.
thing and then it
You're
breaks it down and it does a
recognizing,
little bit of this and so I've noticed that because I've done it
but
so
that's a
much
good
but
thing because it's giving you an awareness. Like it's reminding you, which is something that you innately know as a listener of music, but it's reminding you and making it more explicit. The actual craft of songwriting, like like you realize, like oh shit, you start to take for granted how much actual psychology goes into writing a song. And then when you have AI generate something, you can sometimes get the feeling of like, oh, like this thing is so advanced on every other level, like that I'm using it for, like helping to write this or helping to do that. And all of a sudden you're like, can you write me a song? Can you write me a poem? And a lot of times it
right.
has the feeling, because humans are weird like this, we associate things with whatever. A lot of times, whenever I've experimented with AI in that way, actually every time personally, I have a strong feeling of like, things I would compare it to in the human world, like, oh, this reminds me of like, you know, I shouldn't say a name, but let's say that something like there's a guy that used to drive certain kinds of cars, you know what I mean? Like, and like there's a certain thing where like you sort of get a sense of like, oh, this reminds me of like how people write poems when they're in high school before they've actually like been out in the world,
Right.
like when they start to like, I discovered poetry and now I'm writing like
Yep.
this. AI kind of has that like so far. I mean, obviously you can prompt it into whatever you want, like the better you are at prompting, which is like prompt engineering is a thing because it doesn't really matter how advanced the AI is. Like you can manipulate and use the thing to make genius stuff, but then you've done so much editing that it basically is a human artwork. You know what I mean? So that's why I have respect for like prompt engineering. But just like randomly generating something and then just like what I'm worried about more is like the slop of just when people don't iterate. Where it's
Right.
like, like for me personally, it's not going to make my life easier to start doing AI music. It's just going to make my life more complicated. But if you're somebody who's not
Right.
doing any
That's
music at
true.
all, then at least if you're making AI music, try to iterate and edit in terms of like, it's not quite what I want. It's not quite what I want, because that's how real music production works. But
Yep.
but what's annoying is like if somebody's just out there like generating thousands and thousands of Suno songs and just putting them out there,
Right.
because all it does is like it muddies the waters and it makes it even more.
Yes.
There's more slop and there's more shit that like you have to wade through.
Yeah,
It
I get
creates
it.
a swamp. you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, but so I have nothing ethically against it or
I'm
anything
just
like that.
I'm a music producer now. So
Yeah, yeah, obviously, and that's awesome, dude. Like, I I fucking I'm yeah, and
totally kidding. I don't think that. I'm
no,
just fucking with you.
you know that
Yeah.
I know
But
what the
yeah, it's kind of cool though because I've kind of got it to the point where I like how it sounds. I was going for a certain
yep,
thing, so I'm getting there. But
yep,
obviously, there's
yep.
more to do because I can add in and do certain things and change segments and stuff. I haven't gotten on the computer to do it yet, but I literally spent hours and like 6 hours the other night
Yeah,
doing this
yeah, yeah, and
was on Saturday night. So
if
it was like
I
it's
think
kind
if
of cool.
I think that that's bringing I think that that is bringing integrity to me. That's integrity of um I it's integrity of the art or the outcome or the craft or whatever. Like, yeah, whatever, people can have an issue with that process or whatever, but whatever process and whatever tools exist, if you bring a sense of editorial discretion, if you bring a sense of like, I know what I want and I know what I don't want. I know I like this, I know I don't like that. At least if you bring that to something, you can build up something that is extremely real and authentic and whatever. It's just that like these tools allow you to basically fake not giving a fuck. Sorry,
Right.
fake giving a fuck. That's really the problem. Is like fake giving a fuck is just like generating as many things as you can and hoping something sticks.
Yep.
And then I don't know, like maybe that strategy works, but it muddies the waters, and I do wonder like, is there going to be a way for AI to be able to detect whether when you used AI that you actually iterated versus not iterated? You know what I mean? Like whether you actually put in that time, like will it be somehow obvious within the inherent like will AI become good enough that, because I think about that for my own shit where I'm like, well, I'm not using AI at all, but now it's like everybody thinks everything might be AI. So now that's
Right.
something that like fucks with my brain where I'm like, okay, it kind of demotivates me a little bit because it's like I don't want to use AI, but like I can't. I really have to let go of this giving a shit about what people think about how it happened. You know what I mean? Because it's like I'm making the thing I want to make, but now I'm realizing that there's like a part of my ego that kind of cares about how it got made, and I want to get credit for actually doing something from scratch, recording the guitar, recording the bass, setting up the
Yes.
microphone. There's a part of me that now I have to reconcile with that part of myself like, well, at the end of the day, that's not the most important thing. That is self-fulfillment as much as anything. And like, who
Yep.
cares if I don't get credit for it? But it is hard to overcome that because there is a strong part of me that's just like, but fuck, man, I want people to know for sure. Like, but then the solution to that is like, you got to become like kind of a content creator. And it's like, I should just record myself constantly doing things from scratch. But then that becomes its own job. And then you end up losing sight of actually making good music. So I just find myself caught in this like paradox of like, if I spend time documenting how I make music, then that becomes its own time consuming thing about like documentation, and it becomes a performance. And actually, when you're actually making stuff for real and you're recording the bass and the guitar, it's not about performance. It's about just literally manifesting something that you like based on what you know how to do. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And then it's like those two things are in conflict with each
Bro,
other.
you are on an I'm you are on a rant.
Yeah, man. But I'm just saying, like,
Oh.
the AI thing is like, there's a lot of stuff there that one has to kind of process. But that being said, like, yeah, I would love to hear your when you finally feel like you're settled on something. I'd love to hear the thing you've been working on.
I'm gonna I'm gonna send it to you and you're gonna know it's AI. But
But that's
what
fine, and maybe because
it's
I know it's AI, maybe I'll be a little bit more like, actually, This is wow. I didn't know that it could sound this good for AI. Or like actually, if you didn't
No,
tell
you're
me,
not
I
going to
wouldn't
think
know.
that because the prompts I have on it right now, the way Suno works, from what I've noticed, it only takes certain. Look how veiny I'm looking right now. Look at that lighting.
Damn, bro. What do you want?
Look at
Some
that lighting.
nitrous? Are you taking the nitrous oxide?
I might
Whatever the
be,
fuck it is. God
but no,
damn.
seriously,
Are you?
seriously though. Uh,
When does TRT enter the picture? Will it? Because we both know.
I've been thinking about it. I've actually been thinking about it in all honesty.
But
Because I know
listen,
I
but
can get
listen.
it.
I gotta
Yep,
tell
go
you
ahead.
something. Because we both know, because we are netizens, right?
Where or what?
Netizens.
I don't know what that means actually. What does that
Citizens of the
mean?
net. It was like a term back in the
Oh,
2000s, or
okay,
you know
okay.
what
I
I'm
kind
talking
of
about.
thought that, but I thought maybe it was like something that was totally like I have no idea what that is.
It's
Okay,
an old school term. It'd
right,
be like if you were reading some ancient historian and they threw in some shit that you would only know if you lived in Greece at that time.
right.
Netizens is something that doesn't really nobody says that anymore, but if you think back, that was a thing like in the 90s. Like if you read like Wired magazine in 1997, they might be talking about netizens, okay?
Okay.
So the netizen, we're both netizens, and remind me what I was bringing up originally.
Uh,
You got this.
um,
You got it. I know you got it, man.
ah, ah,
So I was
fuck.
talking about
Come on, don't put so much faith in
netizens.
me. Um,
Talking about going back. Yeah, man. Uh, okay, that's
I
good.
don't
I
think
like that.
that didn't work. I mean
What
that
the
it
fuck
worked
did
in
you say?
as in some.
Somebody's gonna speed that up forward now.
Actually, normally I say I so in order to do that, the trick is you actually say words backwards and you talk in that certain that's how you do that. So you think of a sentence and then you just try to think of the words backwards, like how you'd say them.
God, that feels
That's
like something that like my 16-year-old brain would be really good at, but I just can't. I
yeah.
can't do it
So
right
like you do the words actually backwards. Like you think of a sentence, any random sentence, and then you just say it backwards. I think I said netizens and work and for backwards, and then like the rest of it I just mumbled on. But
Well, what was our bigger point? We were talking about something that was a larger
we were
point.
I don't know. I thought we were talking about like
But
some
what
fucking.
what made me bring up netizens? I can't. I just can't. I can't remember. Netizens, citizens of the internet. That was my point. When you understand the zeitgeist.
Yeah, I don't know what your point was. You said something about that, and you went on about netizens. I
My
have no
point
idea.
was something about understanding the zeitgeist. So we were talking about something before that about maybe slang. Were we talking about slang or like words people say that like you would have to be a netizen to understand? I said something. There was a word that you'd have to be basically somebody on the internet for a long period of time to understand the word. I dropped some retro term. Totally deep.
Your retro term was netizens.
No, but before that. God damn it. This is outrageous. This is truly outrageous. Pack it in, boys.
Yeah, but one left, one
Pack it
left, bro.
in.
I knocked another one.
Fuck, I don't know, bro.
AI assistant. I have it. I have it. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah, go back with that bitch.
Let's see. Like, what the fuck am I not remembering? I'm gonna ask.
Because it's something.
Here we go. AI assistant. Let's see what it says.
It's definitely something.
I'd be happy to help you remember something. I can. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go back through this convo. Come on. Yeah, yeah. Come on.
Is it working?
It says analyzing. Looking back to
Perfect.
your conversation with Clinton, you were trying to remember what led you to bring up the term netizens. Here's the sequence. You asked Clinton about TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, saying,
That's what it
when,
was.
yeah, when does TRT enter the picture? Will it? Because we both know. Clinton responded that he's been thinking about it because he knows he can get it. Then you said, but listen, I gotta tell you something because we both know because we are netizens, right? And introduce the term netizens. Okay. Oh, now I remember. Okay. My point was like, what do you think about this thing in the zeitgeist where anybody now who is like, and because we saw this back in our day as well, but it was like a
Yeah.
little bit more contained. But anybody who's reasonably in shape, it's just like obviously on gear, obviously on steroids.
Right.
Like there's
That's still how
nothing.
it is today too.
Yeah, there's
You
nothing
remember
that
everybody was
anybody
like,
can.
everybody thought I was on steroids, and like
Yeah,
compared to the kids nowadays,
bro,
it's
people
like
thought I was on
nothing.
steroids. Remember that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I said like, no, I take creatine, and I had to go
Yep.
into the principal's office and explain. I printed out things. I had my grandpa come into the office. I printed out all these articles about creatine, and I remember it was Mr. McLeod in there. He wasn't the one who was like the disciplinarian. He was this vice principal or something, and he was like he was chill as as the kids say. And I remember like having to show him all of the fucking things about creatine, and he was like, "Wow, this sounds really good. Actually, this sounds really interesting." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah. I didn't
Hey,
faint. I didn't
not to
faint
interrupt
because
you,
of creatine." Yeah, go ahead.
it's same subject. Yeah, because my sister and my mom take it, but nowadays they've been finding out that creatinine or creatine, however you want to say it, um, is is ex is really actually extremely good for you, especially for women, with like even like post-menopause and things like that, because I can't remember exactly. My mom or my sister could explain more to you, but they've been finding out now that it's actually really really good for you to be taking it. It's not like I know back in our day. I remember there were lots of articles about how it can be bad. It's hard on the kidneys. It's kind of hard on the liver. Um, it's more the kidneys than the liver because it's filtered through your kidneys. But nowadays, I guess it's been found that it's very really good for you. Can even like increase longevity of life.
Mm,
Can be good for your heart. Um, and like yeah, like for women in general, or for women specifically, it's better for them probably than it is for males, right? Because we kind of, you know, the male body is kind of just like we have that more naturally. And as women age, and especially post menopause, they don't get those nutrients and stuff like the creatinine in their body doesn't absorb it, absorb enough of it when they eat meat because it's found in red meat naturally. So taking it can be very beneficial um, in later stages of life.
okay, that's an interesting angle on it because I've been aware of creatine being like a good supplement for other reasons as well, which has
Yep.
emerged recently. So are you aware of the thing having to do with sleep deprivation?
No, I haven't heard of that. What's
So,
that about? I'm
so,
curious now.
so I think the reason that my screen got bright is because I had a name in my head about this doctor who's been on Joe Rogan. It's a woman, and I was
Yep.
like, I think I remembered the name, and then I had to Google it to make sure it was the right name. So I'm
Right.
gonna say the correct name here. This chick named Doctor. I think it was her who said it. If it wasn't her, it was somebody like adjacent to her, like whatever.
Right. Right.
I think it was Doctor Rhonda Patrick, and
Okay.
maybe it wasn't her, but I think she's talked about creatine as well. But anyway, the thing that one of these nutritional experts was talking about was when they've done some studies in the last however many years where they were looking at creatine as a supplement for when you're totally like sleep deprived because We know that there are all
Right.
sorts of weird outcomes with like fucked up sleep patterns, like people pulling, midnight shifts and all this kind of stuff. Like there's tons of
Yeah.
evidence that that's just bad. Like your circadian rhythm and like the whole hormonal cycle, like it's tied to the earth itself. And so, no matter what,
Yep.
even if you're adjusted, it's kind of fucking with you.
Right. Yep.
And they were talking about there was this study where they were measuring. So they took people that they took two groups, let's say, that were totally sleep deprived. Like they were getting for the study. Let's say they were doing 2 to 4. I don't know how many hours it was, but not adequate.
Sure.
Right? Like 4 hours,
Yep.
whatever. Let's say. And what ended up happening was that the and they took measurements about like cognitive function and everything before the sleep deprivation. Okay, I think that's the important point here. So to keep that in mind, they did a
Hmm.
baseline study. They did a baseline measurements right before the study. So it's like these are two groups that are just average people. And they're separate. And there is there's no reason that they're in one group and they're just random people. We do a baseline study of like what is the average. How do they respond to these things and how is this stuff right?
Right.
They do the study, which then involves now sleep deprivation. And what they found was that they're on one group, they did the sleep deprivation thing and they got no creatine. And then on the other group, they gave them quite large doses of creatine
Okay.
while they were sleep deprived. And basically, what they found was that it restored cognitive function like at sort of high doses. It restored cognitive
Okay.
function to a level that was not just like normal having plenty of sleep state, but actually it put them above the baseline.
Okay.
So basically, like the people that got the high dose of creatine while they were sleep deprived had better results than they had before they even did the sleep deprivation thing.
Fair enough.
And that was something that has been talked about a little bit recently. So it's like there's
Right.
like actual cognitive benefits, and like especially in this world where you know people are sleep deprived, like whether it's
Right.
fun philosophically to know why that is and scientifically why that is, but there seems to be enough evidence that there are cognitive benefits that it's like, let's say that you fucking for some reason didn't get enough sleep last night and you got to go in the morning, like a quite high dose of creatine, there's a good chance that that's gonna like give you a energy and mental boost that is like will sort of, I'm not saying it compensates like with all the other health problems of fucking pulling late nighters and whatever, but at least in terms of like
Yeah.
cognitive benefits and all this kind of stuff.
So it gives, yeah, I was reading about not necessarily that specifically with the sleep and the cognitive function, but it is supposed to improve the cognitive function
Yeah, yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah.
So
But I
I
thought
did,
the sleep thing, yeah,
yep. No,
I
go
thought
ahead.
the sleep thing really made the point. Like it's such a poignant example of that because like that's the thing that's most relatable to understand about like subpar cognitive function is like when you do end up like when you got to work in the morning and fucking all of a sudden like you fucked up and you stayed up an extra hour or two and the difference, right? Like
Right.
I mean, like you woke up and you're like, you got 2 less hours of sleep than you probably should have. But
Yep.
you know, take a nice macro dose of creatine and see what happens. I mean, that's all I can say. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but there seems to be some evidence that you might be like, huh. And yeah, could be a placebo, but keep up the
Right.
experiment, try it out, see what happens. Because obviously this was a controlled study, and I think they controlled for placebo effects and all this kind of stuff. So there does seem to be something substantial there. But yeah,
That's interesting.
what is your distraction item, bro? What's your distraction item? I got to know what it is.
Well, I was gonna
Scrolling,
um
scrolling.
Pokemon.
What?
I'm playing Pokemon Champions right now.
Oh, what is it? What is it? What is the game? Like
Pokemon
I mean,
Champions.
but I don't know anything about it. Like, is it like a 2D, 3D? Is it like a
Um,
console, computer? I literally don't know.
I don't know why this wants to make it so bright, but it does.
Why does that look so fucking? It feels nostalgic for some reason.
So it's basically like so Pokemon has like made all their like fucking Pokemon games, you know, like you have like Pokemon Silver and Leaf and Brilliant and
Yeah,
Diamond and all this other shit, right? They make their Pokemon games. So and in these games, um they have like tournaments, not in the game, but like the like around the world, right? They have people who play
right. Like
in
esports,
tournaments.
sort
Yeah,
of
in
esports.
tournaments, and each new iteration, right, introduces new Pokemon, and then but they're able to use all these other Pokemon from all these other games to play in, and they use their Pokemon that they've made, like with their abilities and so on and so forth, and then they fight them, you know, in a battle, and they do the competition or whatever. So, and the reason I'm saying that is because this is going to give you the idea of what I'm about to say is that so going forward now, this game, it's called Pokemon Champions and it's free to play. This game is supposed to be like the main game they're going to be using going forward for all of the Pokemon tournaments. And so
Okay.
like that so instead of like they're probably still going to make the Pokemon games, you know, obviously going forward all the other ones, but this is the one that's going to be played in like all like the live tournaments and competitive scene and stuff. They're going to be using this game for all of the supposed to be using this game for all of the tournaments going forward. So,
Interesting.
um,
Interesting.
anyways,
That's
but
cool.
no, I've been so I've been playing that while I'm talking to you because it's like super like for the most part super simple, but yeah, it can get really complicated with what you're doing. But
Yeah, man, it's cool. I mean, like, yeah, I get it, man. You know, like, I
I'm
mean,
not super good at it
not
as I
everybody, not
suck at
everybody
Pokemon,
is.
but it's a
I
fun
guess
little
I'm not
fucking.
interesting enough to pull you away from Pokemon. You know, and it's cool. It's cool.
You're such a retard. So I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, I got to get going too. It's cool, man.
Oh, that's not what I was gonna say. Actually,
Oh,
I was gonna go on. What was I gonna say? It wasn't that. God damn you. Oh no, I was about to go on a rant about or not a rant, but um,
cool. It can be a
trying to
rant.
figure out trying to figure
I've
out when
had
I
it.
could trying to figure out when I could come and head over to Sweden.
Oh yeah.
That's the point I was getting at.
We gotta. You know, here's the key, man. We do a well. Like
Okay.
I've been in this world of fucking touring long enough, where I've also fucking booked our own shit. What we got to do
Right.
is we got to make it a solid. Like, here's the thing: you come in on this day.
I'm still here. I'm listening. I gotta plug my phone in here.
You come in on this day.
Yeah.
We maximize the possibilities. It's like, okay, hey, it's not going to be obviously only just like a boys hang because I got espresso.
Well, oh yeah, no, I want to
No, but but then
espresso,
but then but then it's like okay, first night
but
you
it's gonna
come
be
over to.
mainly.
But no, what I'm saying, like you come over to our apartment and or
Yep.
wherever, and then it's like, hey, we have a nice like you're probably jet lagged, you're feeling whatever, you're gonna wake up, you're gonna be tired tomorrow. Next day you have a plan. It's like, hey man, we're gonna get up by this time. I'm gonna go show you some Stockholm shit. And then and that night we're gonna go grab a couple of beers, you're gonna come back, gonna do this, gonna do that. Maybe we do a 24-hour cruise because
Oh
these
hell yeah.
exist, like where it's like and I'll cover the cruise thing, by the way, because
Oh shit. Okay.
I
Okay.
can
Fair enough.
because here I'll tell you why. Because for the cruise thing, like with this like it's almost like an overnight transportation cruise. So I can just sort of like it can be like a company expense where I'm like, oh, Clinton is a collaborator, so we're songwriting or something together. Like that's
Right. Right.
be like a tax write off like that. So I got you on
I
that.
need to get my business going.
I mean, actually, yeah, because like, dude, there's
I
so many advantages. Like, you can reframe your business as like you can donate to your own business, right? So it's called
Yeah.
like owner loans. You know, you're loaning
Right.
company money. And then if your business encompasses things that you're interested in, then you can have legitimate write-offs. Like if you're like, man, I'm really interested in um like give me an example of what when you say like create a company, what are you gonna do? Give me
Um.
one random example. The most
Oh, for
reasonable.
my company. Oh, my computer repair business is what I
Exactly,
would really
exactly.
like to
So
do though.
computer repair, right? If you're doing computer repair, every single electronic that you buy, it's on your company.
Right.
So in other words, how do I explain this? Uh, Basically, normally in real life, like you don't get to reduce your tax burden by, like telling the government, like I bought a MacBook, so basically I
Right.
pay less tax. But if you funnel all of your income, in a sense, into this company, and like you start using it, that's why like the independent contracting thing is important because once you have a company you should try, in some sense, by some philosophy, to become an independent contractor because then you get like a pre-tax payment. And then basically the whole goal is that during that year you either spend your revenue or if you want to take it out as salary. But when you take it out as
Hmm.
salary, automatically you're going to be taxed at like 30 some percent at the end of the day, like overall, like
Right.
depending on what bracket you fall into, maybe not, but like you're gonna get taxed something. But if you're just spending revenue from your company, you're spending everything pre-tax. So it's like, in other words, like let me give you a scenario here, and
Yep.
this is and you know this, but like I'm just gonna like explicitly say it. Let's say that you are in a situation where almost all the money you get is going into your company. Uh,
Yep.
you spend it on stuff that you need before it ever becomes like a taxable amount of money. So in other words, like let's say that technically your
I lost you. I lost you.
company
I
is
see you.
performing.
Oh, you cut out there for like a whole, like probably a sentence there. I
Oh,
didn't hear
really?
anything you said.
Well,
So go back like 20 words.
all I'm trying to say is like let's say that you have a company, right?
Yep.
And let's say that the revenue to that company, like you're charging people for your services, right?
Yep. Yep.
You become an independent contractor, and now instead of a
Right.
salary, you're getting money into your company. If
Right.
if your company is making 50,000 a year, and you decide I'm not going to take any salary except for the very bare minimum, like out of that 50,000, I'm going to take a little bit every month to cover my personal rent, say on an apartment.
Right.
But everything else that I need, like computer, cell phones, like my internet connection, my electricity because that's my office, because like I work at my office, all that
Right.
shit becomes expenses. So let's paint you a picture here. You make 50,000 in your company. Maybe you took 10,000 out of that company to cover personal shit, so that gets taxed like salary. But then you spent 40,000 on all the shit that the company needs to operate. You don't get taxed anything. Because basically, like, it's not that you got 50,000 in income, you got 50,000 in operating revenue. So anything that you can imagine being a company expense based on your company structure, if you can actually bring money in for that thing, you could theoretically live a luxurious lifestyle where you spend 40 out of your 50,000 on things that are legitimate company expenses before you get taxed. And then all you get taxed on at the end of the year is what was the profit. So, but if I make 50,000 in my company and then I spend 40,000 and I only have 10,000 in profit, then my company gets taxed at like 20% and I got to pay like a 20% thing on that. But I'm saying like you got to reframe your thinking and like try to spend money pre-tax. And that's the thing about
Right.
having your own company. That's what it is. It's like you can come up with tons and tons of things that technically fall under the category of your company and legitimately so. I'm not talking about fraud. I'm talking about it actually is. Like when me and Espressa take a like when we take a cruise, like, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying a cruise like a fancy cruise, but like when we take like a shuttle cruise, like where it's like it's a nice overnight cruise ship and we have like there's bars and restaurants or whatever, we are sitting there and working on
Another
music.
team,
And it's an
bro. This
inspirational
is
trip.
awesome.
And that becomes a
Right.
write-off. That becomes a company expense. I don't have to pay for that out of my normal salary that we take from our company, which then we pay tax on. That's like the second a royalty comes in, that money then becomes usable for company expenses. So, like,
Right.
I'm just saying that like you can cover a bunch of expenses that are technically write-offs and that basically make it so that you hardly pay anything in tax. Uh,
Hmm.
I, anyway, I'm rambling here, but I'm just saying that like,
Well, yeah, you no, you're not. You know more than I do about all that shit for sure. Because I haven't
well, it's
even.
super complicated, and I can't even get into all the details because it's more like if you had a problem and you came to me, I would know the details because I've experienced, I've had such a learning curve on
Right.
shit. But just speaking from a general standpoint, it's hard for me to like pitch this to you. But this is basically like this is the key to pulling yourself out of the matrix in a sense. Is like take the first step to have your own company, register your
Yeah,
company.
I've taken quite a few right now. The next step is I just want to get some business cards made.
Yeah,
And being that I work
I'll
at
do
an
that too.
internet company and I do computer repair
But
work,
are you
and this
allowed
is
to be an independent contractor at the same time as you're employed, or how does that work?
it's not going to matter because they're not going to know. So
Oh,
that's the
well then,
risk.
so I should cut this out if I ever post it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Um,
But that's good. I
but
need to know that shit because, like, I've told you this from the beginning. If there's something you want me to cut, you got to tell me that. You know.
yeah, no,
I'm,
this
I'm,
part you can probably cut. I
yeah,
don't know if
I'm
anybody
gonna
would
cut
ever
that.
see it, but
Yeah,
that's
I
my
know.
plan because I work at the internet company.
My 35 subscribers might see it. You know what I'm saying? But go on.
Right. But well, if you post it on I've noticed I've seen your um your page that you post our stuff on. You get more views on your Flora Cash page with this stuff.
Obviously. But I
Well,
do that
right.
sometimes to just basically direct traffic, and then it ends up not working very well. So I'm just like, fuck it. Uh,
Yeah.
but I still like it sometimes where I'm like, if I want this video to get a lot more views, then I'll just post it on fucking Flora Cash. But anyway,
Right.
continue.
Um anyways, yeah, so I work at Arvig, right? And it's an internet company and there's a lot of not a lot, but there have been a few people enough people that have come in and they have all these tech questions and it's like, okay, well, you're gonna have to talk to our tech support or whatever about this. But what my plan is, and I'm doing it under the table, I'm gonna make business cards and I'm gonna have them on me at like where I'm at the front desk where I'm working at,
Yep,
and I'm just
yep.
gonna hand them out to people, and do it and keep doing it. And my mom's like, you want to get fired? I'm like, by the time they find out that's happening, I feel like I will have hopefully enough clientele that it's not going to matter. But
You know what,
that's
dude? In principle, I actually agree with you. You know what I mean? And I actually think
right,
that is the mindset in a sense of the entrepreneur. In all honesty, but obviously, like, yeah, you're making a risk. So it's a cost benefit analysis, and you're erring on the side of risk, which I also often do. And I think like first of all, I would never advise you on what to do, but I find the whole calculation fascinating, and I think it's good you mentioned that your mom is not for it. But the thing that sometimes I think about, and I'm not the most like risk taking person, otherwise I would probably be
right,
somewhere else. You know, what I mean, like I'd be doing.
right,
But what I will say is like a phrase that has always kind of like haunted me in a good way is no risk, no reward, right? It's like
Yeah.
less risk.
Also, that goes hand in hand with you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So
Yeah.
this is my perspective. The chances of my company that I'm working for finding out that I'm doing this like on the side, but if they were to ever find out, like it would somebody would have had to snitch at some point. You know, maybe word of mouth gets around this town, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be undercutting
Even
like the
more
couple.
like now
I'm going to be
that
undercutting. I'm going to be undercutting like the one other place that does this,
because
right?
it's a monopoly. But it actually,
By like 50%. And so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna like just
why I
have the business
worry
cards
about
up
you,
there.
man.
I'm gonna have them in my pocket, and I'm just gonna be like, hey, take this, take this. You know, if somebody comes in with issues, here, take my card. I'll fix it for you. Um, but not only that, I'm gonna post them around town too. You know, I'm not just gonna have it, you know, there. But
No, no,
it's a
no, no.
good
I like it,
it's a
man.
good spot to have it in because like I work for an internet cable company. People come in with a lot of tech questions like, well, how do I do this, do that? And I'm about to be taking over the retail portion of it, so I'm going to be the one interacting with everybody all the time, every day. And so hopefully that's what I'm going to do because you know what I saw? You know what my company charges for based like so we have techs that go out and do like installs for like just like the modem and the router and stuff. We have like actual Arbig techs to go out and do that. They're also able to. We used to have a service at Arbig where we offered a service where we'd go out and do whatever and fix people's computers, but we don't have that anymore. Maybe that should be like a fucking thing in my mind, right? But there are techs that go out and every once in a while they'll have a charge on there. Arvik charges $150 for literally what I could do in 10 minutes. No, 30 minutes. I take that back. $150 for 30 minutes of work, doing like a virus cleanup, fixing their shit, speeding it up, so on and so forth. Basic stupid shit like that. And so my thought process was they're charging 150. I'm going to give these motherfuckers my business card. I'm going to charge them probably $60.
Okay,
Whereas
okay. I'm
like
gonna throw you out I'm gonna throw you out
to
like
start
a.
until I build up clientele, then it's going to jump to around probably 80 to 90, maybe 100.
I'm gonna throw you a first instinct here, thinking about this for 2 seconds. Okay.
Yes, please do. Give me your insight. I don't care, bad or good. Let me know.
Here's my feeling about this. First of all,
Okay.
the general principle is good. Like that's a
Okay.
good thing to do. Like there's nothing wrong with you like trying to do this thing on the side, as far as I'm concerned. Okay.
Right.
But if you're thinking from like a sort of Machiavellian, like sort of strategic standpoint, you would probably be better off in the beginning not being so overt because, you know, you have to
Okay.
weigh this thing about like the longer that you are in that position where you can access these people that you can recruit, the better.
Mm,
So in other
okay.
words, if you go too overt, it's just the way that human networks work. Somebody eventually is going to be like, "Hey, Clinton." I mean, like, what I'm worried about is like literally 2 weeks later, somebody's like, they slap down a fucking business card on your desk, and they're like, "You're out of here." And what I'm saying is like, if you want to play it smart, for like,
Okay.
be a little more patient and think long horizon here. Give it a year where instead of giving business cards, you just tell people like, "Hey man, you got a phone on you? Write down my number. Write down my email address." Like do it more like covert where it's like there's no evidence. There's no like and if somebody's like, "Well, he gave me my, if that comes around, you can say, "Yeah, because I'm trying to give personalized service." You know what I'm saying? Like but if you
Right.
start making business cards, suddenly you become a competitor and like if they find that out, it's going to be instantly gone. And then you're going
Okay.
to lose
Fair enough.
access to that whole potential client base.
Right. Okay.
So that's what I worry
That's a
about.
fair
Like,
point. Yeah, that's a fair point.
yeah, so like you can make the business cards, but wait a fucking year before you start handing them out. Like I'm saying a year as like I understand that seems like a long time, but you might get a ton of clients just it's the same thing that happens with fucking Ubers where it's like you get the same Uber driver in a small town and you're like, "Hey man, we can just cut out the middleman." And like and they don't give you something that's like tangible where it connects them to doing this because it's against the terms of service, right? So if you think
Right.
about your employment as terms of service, technically you can still do this without and give yourself plausible deniability about violating the terms of service. But if you make a business
Right.
card and somebody slaps it down on the table, it's like, bro, there's no question you violated the terms of service. Like, you're out of here. And then your whole upside potential decreases because now you got to go out there. You're back in the real world. Plus, you have this stain on your employment record. So now all of a sudden,
Right.
like, if you want to like get back into the network so that you can start recruiting your own people, your own clients, now getting another job like that is going to be harder because you can't tell them you worked at Arvik, or if you do, they're going to talk to somebody and say, "Yeah, he tried to poach our clients."
Right.
So you got to think about that. You got to think about that. So I would do it more covert until you feel like, damn, I'm up and running. Once the people that you poach start to bring in other people, then you can, like, I would say, hand out business cards. But if you're needing the pipeline of Arvik to get the clients, then you want to keep that going as long as possible.
That's true. That makes sense.
Seriously, think about that, man.
No,
Because the
that makes
universe
sense.
is
No,
telling
I
you he got to
that
notice.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes some good sense.
yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Well, it's something to think about. It's just a thing. By the way, did you see that Luke Henges? How do we pronounce his name? I can't remember. Luke
Henches. You're
Henges.
right. Henches. Yep. Henches. Yep.
He's building a house. You see that?
No, I didn't see that. I know he's got his whole little like channel going with his little fishing and stuff, but
I mean, he said that for years, but like,
yep.
it's funny seeing because he's one of these guys that's like a little more like he is kind of like naturally an entertainer of some kind, but when he also takes the initiative to do stuff, which is really
Yeah.
interesting. But now he's on like his own little personal journey. I see his updates on Facebook where he's like got a plot of land in the middle of nowhere, and now he's like framing this whole house that he's building with his dad, and it's gonna be like his next move.
Oh
But then
shit.
he's also posting sometimes like, man, it's so hard to meet anybody nowadays. And so like you get a little bit of a download. Like and again, like this is not a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying that like the download is that like he's out there, he's got this property, he's building a house, and he's kind of like um going, why the heck don't I have a family or what's going on and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting. Um
The bros got no families, nothing left.
I'm not
He's just
saying that.
chilling.
I know.
Cut
I
this
mean
out.
more like
But
I'm saying. I think he wants a family of his own, and he's going like,
that bro ain't ever gonna have that. No,
why? Why would
I
you?
don't think he wants it.
Yeah, maybe deep down, not. Yeah, maybe it's like a thing where you think you want it, and he thinks he wants it, so he's taking actions that would like theoretically lead to that, but it's actually that he doesn't really want it to work out in that way. He
Right.
kind of wants to be like the bachelor, having his own little 3 bedroom, house that he built himself, and yeah,
Right.
it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is for sure.
All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you answering, and
Hmm.
I should probably get out of here. But yeah. Uh,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
fucking, this is Pokemon Clinton. Okay.
No, I'm
All
here.
right.
I just
You know what I'm
waited,
gonna
bro.
say? You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna like when this edited episode comes out, I'm gonna call it Pokemon Clinton Episode 1. That's gonna be a whole different.
Are we starting a new season? Season 2 here?
Yeah, it's gonna
Are we
be.
ready for a new season?
Everybody's gonna know this was pre Pokemon tournament Clinton, and this is post Pokemon Clinton tournament. No, Pokemon. Shit, I got it
All
all.
right. Fair
All
enough.
right, hey. I'm joking. Thanks for chatting, dude, and have a good
Well,
have a good week, my man.
yeah, you
And
too,
let's
brother.
let's
Take,
let's hopefully we get some kind of trip one of these days because
let's
our house is almost done, and that's like in.
Oh, that's awesome. I'd love to. I honestly will. I'm gonna try and make it like I know like expense wise it's fine. It's just a matter of like finding the time off to do it
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I can save up plenty of money to do it. I'm not worried about that. It's just a matter of like okay, when, and so it's like
Like I told you, as long as you can just, as long as you can just cover your flight over here, you really don't have to
mhm,
budget spending money on anything, really. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be
right.
hospitality and stuff like that. Uh,
If I do like if I have a girlfriend at the time, I can bring a plus one, right?
of course, of
Oh,
course.
okay,
And if she turns out
okay.
to be a crazy bitch, that'll be a hilarious journey. You know what I mean? Like,
Indeed, a journey.
hey man, this is my girlfriend. I'll be like, oh man, wow, first time in Sweden you brought this girl. Like, this must be really serious. This is fucking awesome. And you're like, yeah, man, met her 3 days ago. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
And
God.
and then I'll be like, and then all of a sudden, like, I'll meet her and I'll be like, hey, how's it going, Tina? And then she'll be like, you know what? You know what's crazy? I've watched you and Clinton talking to each other for so long. I'm so glad to be here right now. And then I'll be like, um, bro, hey man, hey dude, can we, you got like 5 minutes? Yeah,
I
what's up,
got you.
dude? What's up, man?
What's going
Yeah,
on?
I'll be like, hey man, how you feeling right now? I'll be like, oh my God, like this is so. I like Sweden, dude. Like, why can't America be more
Oh,
like this? This is,
here we
you
go.
know. And then I'll be like, yeah, I hear you. But Tina, yeah, yeah, what's up? What's up? She's great, isn't she? Isn't she awesome? Like she gets me, she understands me. And I'll be like, really? That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, man, she just like seems to know. Like, she's just so we're so it's so
In
intuitive.
tune.
We're so in tune. Like, you know, did you know that she's been watching our all of our conversations and stuff like that, man? Um, no, I don't think she has. Like, I haven't even shown her that. Like, I'm just thinking, like, nobody watches that. Like, I don't even like. It's just,
Okay,
and then
don't
I'm
be
like,
putting
and
word.
no, and then I'm like, um, she said she's been watching. She's watched every episode. Oh.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
about that. About that. I mean, I showed her like a couple conversations, like the Billy episode.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
really about it. And then she thought it was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't know that she became like kind of weird about it, but
But I'm just saying, like, does it seem like she just kind of like that she understands you in a way that nobody else ever could? Because it's almost like when you say something, she just kind
hey,
of,
don't get jealous. I mean,
no, no,
she
no. But I'm just saying, like, do you understand how much research material that she has right now, man? She knows you better than you know yourself,
I got this.
man.
Bro,
I
I
don't know,
got
man.
it.
I don't know, man. I think she might be.
What the hell are you doing down there? Shut up. Fucking talking to Cole. Jesus Christ. What you down there that the smoking there,
Clear,
the
clear.
marijuana down there for here?
That's
No,
a marijuana. That's a gateway drug now.
I hear some bad things about that there for here.
You guys ain't doing. You
You're
ain't
not
seen
you hanging
the
out down
reefer
there with
madness.
you
The
with that
reefer
coal
madness.
smoking that gateway drug down there for here?
Did you guys see
Oh
what
my
happened to
God.
Matt Lolly? What Matt Lolly?
What about that what about that Madoff that Madoff door there for the here?
The Ford.
What
Ford.
on earth is happening in here?
What the
Ford
hell you
Motors.
doing in here for there? We're talking here.
Again?
What the hell you doing? You don't interrupt them
No.
boys. You don't
What
interrupt
the
them
hell you
boys.
interrupting us for here for there?
What's up? Tell Cole about your song.
Yes, I did tell him.
It's so gay.
Well, I
It's
haven't
not
heard
that
it
gay.
yet.
Oh, he hasn't heard it yet. I told him the whole premise, and I told him why I went to make it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
So
that's
he still
important.
has yet
That's
to hear it.
important. That's important. Yep.
Because if I would have just sent him the song and been like, dude, I made a new song, he'd be like, because he actually makes music.
I know.
Whereas, like, we have a whole thing with somebody who sent him something and they're like, here, check this out. And didn't say anything, like,
Yeah.
not expecting him to know that, like, okay, it's AI. And like Cole obviously right off rip knew. And then, like, it was after the fact that the person was finally like, oh, yeah, I've been using this and that to make it.
Well, no, it's because I basically cornered them. I said like, "Oh, dude, this must be Suno, right? Like, it sounds awesome."
Oh,
He was like, "Oh yeah, 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 for sure, yeah, yeah." And again, like I said to Clinton, I have no philosophical problem with AI music. It's just that I want I believe in transparency about it. But like I think that like you could probably do AI music and have it just as fucking awesome. Like I think that there can be a lot of genius in that if you iterate and actually make editorial decisions and put a lot of your human, stamp on it. But
Right.
but just like generating shit like as slop, where it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna generate 50 songs today. All that it does is muddies the waters in a sense. But what
Right.
Clint was talking about, even if you do something as a joke, like sitting there and going through like, no, I actually didn't like that. I'm gonna change that. I didn't like that. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna do that. That's to me, that's art. That's editorial. That's fine.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. How many hours do you have into that song?
Yeah,
well,
He kept putting
like,
rap in it.
yeah, exactly. No, and I
that's
agree.
what
I
I was
agree.
telling. I was telling her that like you'll be able to tell it right away because it goes like certain verses throughout the song, right? It's always the same. Like here's the it's very consistent. Here's this, here's that, here's this, here's
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and it's always the same around the same point, same this. So I'm trying to figure out how to get it to prompt to kind of get rid of that. But what Suno does is it bases its music on. Hold on, I had to swap out my Pokemon here. So oh, I swapped out the wrong one. It bases its music on the prompts that you do give it, but the prompts have to be very specific. Sometimes not so specific, but if you give it a prompt where it's like use this type of music, this type of music, this type of music, it does it. You can tell it to increase the tempo, or decrease the tempo, and it'll do it. You can tell it to add this to the voice, add that to the voice, and it'll make an attempt to do it. Like, so I told it, here, add more rasp of this voice. It didn't really add any of that, but I'm using a female voice, so maybe that has something to do with it. But I said, here, add an echo to the voice, do this, do that, and then after I did it, it does it. So it's like
Yeah.
it's very specific prompts. Like if I go in and I say, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, it's like retarded, and it
Yeah.
doesn't know. It just adds it adds its basic knowledge is what it does.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have to figure out how to prompt it to get rid of certain aspects while keeping the aspects that I want.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like,
He
yeah.
doesn't want to
But
do it.
that's
which
what
it
I'm saying.
doesn't.
It's like when you're somebody who's like playing the instruments, even though it's fucking hard. Like I spend like 20, I'll spend like an hour like re-recording the guitar to get it to the point where I feel like it's got a good groove. I don't sound like a retard. Like like I'm playing it properly. The thing is like at least I can go back and update that. But like that's why I
Yeah.
say like if I was doing AI
Well,
music, I
there.
would find it
Yeah.
more stressful because I would have to prompt things and then it
Yeah.
wouldn't do what
And
I
there,
wanted it to do.
yeah,
You know what I
there,
mean?
and
Like
that's kind of where I'm at right now. There is a feature, and I haven't figured it out yet because I haven't gotten into the nitty gritty because I've been just
stems,
doing it on my
right?
phone.
Like where you can
If I
break
got
it
on my
down.
computer, I'm in more in my zone, and I can kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
do this, do that. But kind of where I'm at now with it is so you can go in and you can edit certain
Yeah.
segments for both the
Yeah.
voice and the instrumentals, and I don't mind the instrumentals where it's at. The like the
It
rough
does
product I have is
instrumentals very well, I will say.
the
I mean,
rough
it's not
product.
usually innovative, but it's at least it's like it sounds like a professional fucking thing.
Yeah, the rough product I have is pretty good for instrumentals. Um, but there's a couple there's like one part in the voice where I don't know why, and it has to do with the type of music I'm picking. So I have it set to so the last one I made, I prompted it I told it to make a Eurodance 1990s um a Eurodance 1990s anthem. And then I explained a bunch of other stuff. I said keep the beats per minute at 110. Um and then I said make it so it um I gotta swap out here. I said make it so it so okay. Intermittent.
You want me to ask AI companion?
Anyways, no, hold on. And then I said, add a deep house remix to it. That's what I said.
Yep.
And so after adding the deep house remix, it got it to really where I want it to be at. But for some reason, the Suno AI wants to think that this Euro dance anthem has to have some sort of like rapish part to it, and I'm gonna send you the link to
Mm.
listen to it, and you'll hear it, and I can't get rid of it, but that's kind of what I want to sit down with and work on is try and get rid of that because I don't mind like what it's producing like instrumentally,
Yeah.
but you can also tell it, and I noticed that it did do this. You can tell it to you can tell it to like so you can basically tell it you can tell it to say, hey, make the bass more pronounced while keeping the instrumentals of the song. Like you can say, okay, make the bass more pronounced while using the instrumentals of the song to like mimic like a faster beat than 110, right? Because you have a bass and the bass is what makes the beat kind of, right? Like you've
Yeah.
got this beat, you've got this tempo and the bass produces that, but you can have instrumentals layer over that make it sound faster than it is, but it's not. And so that's kind of what I told it to do in a way. And maybe I'm wrong here, but it produced something along those lines where I heard the instrumentals over the bass, but the bass stayed the same, like beats per minute. While the
Mm.
instrumentals like kind of tricked your brain into thinking it was faster than it was, but it wasn't.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it can do stuff like that, but
Yeah.
you know what
Interesting.
I mean? Like where you make a beat, right? And the beat is this 110
Yeah.
beats per
Yeah.
minute. So it tries to stick within that 110 beats per minute tempo, and then you say, okay, layer instrumentals over this bass, um and
Talking over
it'll
the
do it.
bass or over the beats, like the drum beats.
Sorry. So I guess sorry.
So
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like you're talking about like
No,
becoming
I'm talking like boom, boom,
okay.
like
Oh,
beat
like
or bass.
some
So
fucking
I told
yeah.
it to have the bass stay at 110 beats per minute, and then I said make the instrumentals like this, like the synthesizer and the like the synthesizer and the kick to give the illusion of a faster beat per minute. So it kind of it intertwines the two and keeps the bass slower because I told it to slow down the voice singing as well because it was singing too fast. And so I said, slow down the voice or slow down the singing of the voice, make make the bass at 110 beats per minute while layering the instrumentals over the bass to give the illusion of a faster tempo. And
Interesting.
it
Yeah.
kind of did that. Kind of did
Interesting.
that, and that's kind of where I'm at with this last prompt I gave it. But
Yeah.
like not having such a limited music knowledge, it's like I'm also trying to figure out like where I'm at with because like if I do like an alternative rock song or if I do a rock song or if I do like a hard rock, it doesn't add this stupid rap part in it, and it's like a very 90s like it speeds it up and it does this, and you'll hear it when I send it to you. You'll be like, okay,
Mm.
that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I need you to do is be like, bro, just tell it to this because I know as soon as you hear it, you'll be like, oh, you'll know what I'm talking about. And you'll be like, try adding this, and you'll be able to prompt it because the more
Maybe,
music knowledge you
maybe, but
have,
it
the
it
more
might
because you have
not
such
it
a
might
vast.
not do what I
And
think
so what I'm
it
trying to
should do
because
anyway.
if I start adding in do this rock version, do this, do that, and do all this, it starts adding all these instrumentals in where it sounds kind of cool, but it's not what I'm looking for. But it
Yeah.
gets rid of the like this weird like rap portion that it tries to spit up, and like the AI must be thinking like, okay, this is a product of the '90s Euro dance, and so I'm serious, and it puts it in here, and it's not what I want or need because as soon as I tell it to get off of this like adding the deep house got rid of it, like not didn't get rid of it completely, but it got rid of like the extent of that of what it was producing with that part.
Right.
And so, like I said, like I can go in though to the song, and I can edit certain segments. So, and I haven't done it yet, but what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna go in and like on my computer and figure out how I can edit the segments to get rid of that. And I haven't done it yet, but that's my next goal is because there's just this one segment where I'm just like, I could do without because it like the song sounds really cool, you know, it produces all these great things, but I mean I could go in and do more too. I'm just not there yet. So like when I told you I'm at like a rough draft of I'm at like a final rough draft, like I've got kind of the essence of what I want, but I don't have exactly what I want.
Interesting.
And it's supposed to be like this. It's not supposed to be like this serious thing, but you know, it's not something super serious, right? It's for a Harry Potter movie that Veronica and I are going to make with as I fucking voice over these different animals.
But
So
you know, it's interesting because now we're touching on the zeitgeist here, because like obviously this was partially sparked by the fact that
hold on. Before we go, let me
there's
send
been
you the link.
yeah.
Nope. I have to have you listen to it, and I need your live reaction
I
because
know,
I want to know.
I will. No, but I just want to say, like,
Can
the
we do
Harry
it right
Potter
now, though,
thing.
before we get off
All
the
right,
phone
all
here?
right. Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right, hold on. I'll do it while we're talking here.
But I'm gonna do a yeah. I'll once I figure
No,
out
you're
how you're
do whatever you want to do here. I still have Suno up on my fucking phone because
Well,
I
how are you
haven't.
gonna send it to my text message?
I'm just gonna
or
send it. I'm just gonna send it to Messenger, and it's gonna have a
on
link.
Facebook or on.
Yep. Nope, on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook Messenger.
Uh,
Hold on here.
that's
Let
cool.
me send you the link. Messenger chats. Here you go. Now, trust me, super AI. I'm fully aware of this. It's nothing like you
Yeah,
produce,
no,
so
I get it.
don't
No,
worry.
but I
You
get it.
know
I
I
get
know
it.
this, but
I'm not.
so you listen to it right. You listen to it
I'm
right
gonna
now.
listen.
Mute
I'm
your
gonna
shit.
listen to it. Here's what
Okay.
I'm gonna do. I'm gonna listen to it as if I was somebody who was also going through a process of iterative generation. Because I've done that with
Okay.
like Mid-Journey and stuff. I understand the frame of
Yeah.
reference.
Okay. So while you do that, I gotta go take a fucking massive piss.
All right, let's see what we got.
All right. I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let me
Screen.
know if the link works before I head out. It should. It should just send you right to the
Wait, no,
link for the
I'm
song.
there. I'm there. You're good. You're good.
Okay. All right. I'm
just
gonna go to the
looking at.
bathroom quick.
All right.
Where's my fucking vape? Oh, right here. Okay. I'm gonna go pee.
All right.
Whispers in the halls, I can hear the castle breathe. Shadows on the walls, got secrets up sleeve. Lightning in my veins, yeah, I feel that ancient spark. Destiny was written in the scar across the dark. Candles floating high, yeah, they dancing in the night. Footsteps in the corridor, something's not right. Mirrors show my fears, but it never shows the truth. Power in my blood, I was chosen in my youth. Pages flipping fast, got spells up in my mind. Every single word got a curse between the lines. Friends turn to legends when the danger gets close. But even heroes fall when they facing what they know. Green flash in the distance, hear the thunder crack. Step
That's my thoughts exactly.
pull me back. Ghosts in every corner, yeah, they whisper low.
Are you strong enough to face what you don't know?
Betrayal cut deep, but it made me grow.
Now I walk alone where the fearless go.
Got a phoenix soul.
Yeah, I rise again. Every loss I took turned me into him. Hear the echoes calling out my name. Through the fire I became the flame. I don't break when the world goes cold. I was made for this, I've been told. Arms up in the dark, let it light the sky. We don't fear the night, we were born to fight. Magic in our hearts, yeah, we can't be tamed. Even in the shadows, they don't know our name. Arms up, feel the power spark. We're alive in the danger, we don't fall apart. From the ashes we rise, leave a burning mark. We're the kings and queens, with our wands in the dark.
I come back stronger.
Every second makes me harder.
Not a myth, not a story.
I'm the magic, I'm the glory. Wands up in the dark, now the whole world sees. We don't bow to fear, we don't drop to the knees. Magic in our blood, it was destiny. We were born to fight, we were born to be. Wands up, let the night ignite. We don't run from war, we become the light. From the ashes we rise, now we own the spark. We're forever legends, with our wands in the dark.
Yeah, dude. I mean that
So
it ticks all the freaking boxes, bro. I mean,
I needed to get rid of that rap portion, which totally throws it off.
I don't even know if I agree with that, man. Like the way where my brain goes is like, I first of all, the AI is like the whole thing. It's throwing out some extreme melodic ear candy. Yeah, I mean it's like it's it's got a good fucking formula for melodic what?
Tendencies?
Well, yeah, did you say cadences?
Tendencies.
Tendencies.
Basically the same thing.
Well, no, but I actually know that you didn't say cadences, but then you saying tendencies made me think of that. Whatever you want to call it, right? Like structure, flow,
Right.
whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
there's
But
yeah,
that's what
there's
I'm
a
saying
bunch of
about AI. If you heard enough of these, the flow and the melodic structure of it is always all the same. Like even it doesn't matter what
right, and that's the
genre
thing.
you're using,
Yeah,
it does
yeah,
that.
yeah. By the way, when I was streaming that, did you when I was streaming that, were you hearing it from my side, or was
Yes, I was.
okay? Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, and that's so the weird thing is like because like when I listen to AI music, or like sorry, I should say this, but when I listen to music that's been made and iterated, or made and iterated by like by a human, like to the extent that it's like fundamentally generative AI. Um, it it seems to like there's something about it. I was thinking about this too, like even with this, like it was so in some ways it was so good that it almost felt like when you eat candy, like where you're
Hmm.
kind of like normally, like even though sometimes you think, why doesn't everybody just eat candy? You know what I mean? Because it's so
Right.
fucking awesome. Like it just tastes so good, and we all know like for like when you go and eat candy, you're gonna feel like for that at least a minute or whatever, like you're gonna be like, God, this is so fulfilling. Your body wants the carbs, you want that quick, fast sugar, you want that like, there's
Right.
something, but then you always know that like if I eat like a bunch of candy at like 12 in the afternoon, I'm gonna feel like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And all I'm trying to say here is, and I'm not saying let's not take it to that extreme. I don't mean feel like shit, but my feeling about it is like almost every time I listen to AI music, I like it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Right.
the thing is that I get hypnotized. It's almost like it feels a little bit like a sugar rush in that sense. Like now I'm
Yeah.
making a
Yep.
parallel equivalent. It's like I'm so sort of hypnotized by it that I'm like, fucking great. It is great.
Right.
And it reminds me of like when you eat candy because it's like I don't remember like AI songs that I've liked and stuff like that. I literally can't remember it because
Hmm.
it's like my long like something is missing from my equation.
Yes, I get it. I
You know what
understand
I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you come from such a deep structured background with music that when you're listening to AI music, it's like, yeah, this is really good, whatever. It sounds good. It gives you that vibe of like that sugar rush that you're talking about. But at the same time, there's something missing, and I think that is the artistic intent that you speak of. Like I feel like you're so used to having this artistic intent, and that's and the human feel like towards the music that's kind of what you're missing because that's what you do, for a living. So you're going to notice those intricacies. You're going to notice this.
What was that?
Yeah, I don't know, but you're going to notice those, you know, like anybody who makes music and you especially, I think, because you're much more, I know how your brain works. And so you're going to fucking see all those fucking inconsistencies and all these intricacies and all these things that you can do and this and that. So it's like for you, AI is a tool as opposed to a means. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if yeah, and mostly
And for
I
me, it's the
but
opposite, right? It's so
right. But I will say like personally I've used it mostly as like a fucking what do you call it? Like what I really like doing is like taking lyrics when I've already finished them and then
yep.
going into
And just
AI.
seeing what it spits out and then being like, okay,
Well, no, 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 no,
and
no,
then you
no,
play.
no, 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 not that. In my case, what I'm talking about is like I give it my finished lyrics and I say like interpret these lyrics from like an academic, philosophic, literary, in the history of Western literature. Like I'll throw in a bunch of like I'll throw the whole kitchen sink at the fucking thing
Yep.
just to get it to like because I just want to hear like what is a way of interpreting this thing that came out of me. Like that's what I use AI for. Is I was like,
Sure.
I'm like,
And that's kind of what I was
help
getting
me
at.
understand
It's
what's
a
coming out
tool.
of me.
Right.
And
Yep.
like
I
what
get
if
that.
you and then I'll say like I'll give it lyrics that I've written entirely and I'll say interpret these lyrics from like a Jungian psychoanalytic analysis or interpret it from a Freudian perspective. Like, are there some shit here that I don't understand about my psyche? Like, am I acting out some Freudian thing here? Like like to me that's the most interesting part of AI is not like generating
Hmm.
content but interpreting it. I think that's cool because it gives
Right.
you access to like because it's trained on tons and tons and tons of interpretations. Interpretations you like, interpretations you don't like. It doesn't really matter. Like it's all in there. And then of course they're steered sometimes toward a biased perspective, but fundamentally
Right.
like if you spend like a fucking day, you realize that like okay, like sometimes like I get upset because it's like I don't like Sam Altman. I don't really like I'm sort of on Elon Musk's side about like this whole thing about like ChatGPT and it was supposed to be a
Right.
nonprofit and sorry, OpenAI, it was supposed to be a nonprofit and all this kind of stuff. But for me fundamentally like I keep using ChatGPT because for me it just consistently is the superior product. Like I don't really I test all the other ones, but then I instantly see the contrast between it and them and it's like, okay, when I was experimenting with Claude with the same type of shit that I use it for, it was actually becoming a little bit aggressive in the sense of like they had put on so many guardrails on Claude to not give you that like AI psychosis, that they talk about where it's like makes you feel
Yeah.
like you're a fucking genius. But they had
Right.
put so many guardrails on it that it was basically like everything I said, it was basically judging me for. so
Right.
so in other words, I was like, okay, well that I mean, I feel like that's worse in a way. Like like if this was my friend and my friend suddenly like is like
Turned
everything
on
I
you?
say is like, wow, you really crossed a new line there, man. Like, have you considered how that's going to affect everybody else? And it's
It
like,
starts gaslighting you.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, God damn. And then I go back to ChatGPT and it's like I can see that ChatGPT, they're iterating it in a way that I'm like, I can see that it doesn't kiss my ass like it did like, 2 years ago. But I
Right.
also feel like it's more neutral. Like I don't want it to kiss my ass. So it's fine. Like I don't care. But then you can tell models that are sort of trained to be too much, like an overcorrection, which is part of what I hate about
Yes.
politics is like the reason that if you don't like the rise of the far right, then you should not have overcorrected on all this liberal shit. Like
Right.
can't we just find some middle ground? Like things are like it's like okay, we want to reform criminal justice because like statistically black people are more likely to be falsely accused of a crime. But then it's like you push that reformation so far that basically you let somebody out who's been arrested like 40 times or or like 15 times or whatever the fuck it is. And it's
Right.
like
Yep.
bro,
Yep.
that's not no. If you want to reform that system, systematically go in and start looking at cases of people who are actually already in there and start doing analysis. Don't just start like giving criminals who have like 14 fucking things on their record the benefit of the doubt. It's
Right.
just retarded. And it's like that's not good for anybody. Like it's not a race thing. It's like if I'm in the black community and like this fucking weirdo who's like stalking my neighborhood, I'm a black mother and there's this guy who's stalking my fucking neighborhood. He's been arrested like 14 times. I'm going to start to think there's a conspiracy against me because they won't put him in jail. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Exactly.
in a
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
way, the
Yeah.
liberal agenda sort of works against itself. It's like if we were living in a situation where we had this guy around, we would think, oh
Yeah.
my God, the authorities have abandoned us. But then the white liberals are actually like, sitting there going, we're correcting for systemic racism. We're fixing the situation. This is, because there's a chance that we might falsely accuse somebody. So we have to, we have to correct for that behavior. And, even though he's already been arrested 8 times, you know, colonialism and
Right.
white supremacy and slavery, and it's like, give me a fucking break, dude.
Yeah.
Live in the fucking now. Like, what is the actual situation? You know? Whatever. Now I'm rambling and I forgot my train of thought, but you get what I'm
No, it
saying.
makes sense. Yeah. No, I get it.
It's just this like the overcorrection is what I was talking about. I made it political a little bit because
No, I mean, well, yeah, the overcorrection was the politicalness of it, but I think that, I mean, you do have a point. I don't remember anything that we were talking about right now, but I know that what you said
yep.
Had a point,
All right.
and yeah,
Yeah. And
I'm fucked up.
that being said, I'm going to just really quick ask AI companion
Yes.
because I love testing the technology since we're literally talking about it. Okay. Update me. You saw Clinton. Oh, Jesus, that's spelling. You saw Clinton couldn't remember an earlier thread. Please update us. I mean, that's like a pretty shitty prompt, but I'm thinking it's probably
But
good.
it should work.
Yeah.
I mean, it should.
because it's also you're testing like how up to the minute is it? You know what I mean? Like, is it
Right?
really following the context? Okay,
Is this
sure.
is fucking it must be, is it using Gemini? Isn't it, or what does it
It seems
use?
like it. I think maybe actually that sounds familiar. Sure. Here's what happened earlier. Around 1:53:41 on January, February, March, January, February, March, April 14th, 2026. Clinton asked Cole if he had recorded Clinton's previous call where Clinton did a Hindu impression. Wait.
This
Cole,
shit's up to date, but you're way back in the dates, bro.
Cole confirmed he did record it, but wasn't sure if Zoom captured the audio. What the fuck? Cole's original point was in internet culture there's a perception that anyone who's reasonably oh my god, no, it's not. No, it's totally wrong. It's talking about when we were talking about bodybuilding and shit.
Medicine, isn't it?
Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Fuck. No, because I'm still seeing Suno.
Oh! Dumbass myself.
I'm still seeing fucking Suno.
How about now? How about now?
Nope. Suno.
Oh.
Still seeing fucking Suno.
Yeah, I'm noticing that. That's annoying, actually, in many ways. Content only. No, it's still Suno. Yeah, I clearly can't handle this right now. Okay, so what we were talking about was what?
I have no fucking clue.
Dude,
Back to Gemini.
we were
Ask
just
him.
solving all the problems of the world, and all of a sudden,
Go back to what were we just talking about before we started talking about what we were talking about. It'll get it.
oh yeah, what were we talking about before the thing we were just now recently talking about? Right? Kinda. Like, let's see.
Yeah.
AI can make mistakes, it says. I mean, obviously, but it's just funny that they have to put that on everything. Before
I
the
like how
recent
AI is so confident in itself at this point that it says, yeah, I can make mistakes, but
yeah.
not typically.
Whoa. Okay.
I look like a fucking
Clinton,
wild
I'm
man.
gonna read the end of it. Clinton explained his iterative process with Suno, trying to create a 1990s Euro dance anthem with deep house elements at 110 BPM, but struggling to remove an unwanted rap section the AI kept inserting. You both talked about the challenges of prompt engineering and how Clinton was spending hours refining the output. The conversation then shifted to your philosophy on AI and creative work, that you use it more for interpretation, like analyzing your lyrics from Jungian or Freudian perspectives rather than generation, and your concerns about AI slop when people don't iterate thoughtfully. This led to a tangent about ChatGPT versus Claude, then somehow pivoted to political overcorrection, and eventually you lost the thread entirely. Oh my god!
So AI literally told us you have no idea what you were talking about or what you were like what you're segueing into. Literally what it just said.
But it really got us up to that point. Like, that's very intelligent because it didn't incorporate us talking about it doing that. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You see
Wait,
how
what?
advanced that is? Because we had a whole conversation after the first time that
Mhm.
I asked this that it didn't
Yeah.
incorporate, because it now knew after that conversation what I was actually asking it to do. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying that,
Yeah.
like basically it skipped a bunch of shit that we were just talking about for like 5 or 10 minutes and went back to
yeah.
the thing that I was actually trying to make it do.
Right.
Just verbally. I mean, like just it parsed it out exactly right. Like it ended right now exactly where we would have wanted it to end, because that's literally where we left off, and it highlighted the fucking losing the train of thought and everything. Like this led to a tangent about ChatGPT versus Claude, then somehow pivoted to political overcorrection. Yeah, but I was just saying, like, what? No, but I think it skipped something. We went further.
There was you went into the it, you went
We did
into
go
the
further than that.
political overcorrection based on I don't
Based
know.
on AI overcorrection, because I was saying
Yes,
that
yes,
like
you got into the political correctiveness based on AI.
yeah,
Sort of was.
because like models will try to basically overcorrect for things that we are observing in
Right.
general AI behavior. Or sorry, general GPT behavior. Or sorry, what is it? LLM. General LLM behavior, because some people don't like when you call that AI because they don't believe that it is AI. They believe it's LLM.
It's
And
to be fair, it
no,
is AI,
I get it.
but it's a different type of AI, and it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's an LLM. An LLM is a large language model, which is basically an AI trained to take in input that you're saying and producing the outcome of what was said. The only reason I know this is because we use it at work. We use an LLM, and it's called Balto. And basically, what it does, like when I'm on a call, it's a recorded call. Balto takes what I'm saying and what the customer how the customer is responding, and then spits out a summary of what the conversation was about. And that's
Clinton,
basically what
I gotta stop you,
what.
man. You got a blind spot here, because ChatGPT is an LLM.
Hold on. Okay. So
I mean, is your
it's not
argument that
it's
the LLM is
maybe
so
in essence,
advanced?
well, okay, so
Because that's a
you
separate
could
argument.
yeah, because so okay, so there are I guess what I guess maybe I should have specified
Mm.
an LLM is a large language model. Obviously, most AIs are that, but they do have versions of that are specialized for
Right,
certain
right.
circumstances.
Yes,
Is I
that's a good point.
so you could you could
Yeah,
call
because they
ChatGPT an
overlay
easy.
these things like the large language model. Like now, I'm just to see if we're on the same page here.
Yeah.
Forget the whole semantics of this, right? The large
Okay.
language model, in my mind, what we associate right now, like this is my reading of the zeitgeist as well, is like mostly what people call AI now, because of the advancements that have been made in terms of like interactive artificial intelligence, is large language models like ChatGPT, like Claude, like Gemini. Ultimately, yes, it is more than a large language model. Now, what you're talking about is the fundamental technology of large language models and how that works, which again is sort of also not fully understood even by the people that are doing it. You know, we have this whole like, it's a neural net framework type thing, and it's a black box in a sense. Like they can't, like they have to basically train it the same way that you like poke brain cells and try to see like if I do this, what happens, but they don't really know how it's thinking or what it's doing 100%. But what you're also, I think, saying, if I'm not mistaken, is that yeah, there's the large language model component, but then because I can speak to this like using ChatGPT for instance, like that it wasn't good at math before, but then all of a sudden, like basically now it pulls up sort of a tool that is like there's like a specific sort of quote unquote AI tool or algorithmic whatever that is like ChatGPT is using that tool, which itself is an AI, but it's definitely not a large language model. It's not an LLM. It's like a specific
Well, ChatGPT isn't wouldn't be considered an LLM in terms of an LLM because an LLM is more of like a branch off of what AI is, and ChatGPT is AI. It encompasses all of the things of what an LLM is, right? Because it's taking in response to what you say, it's recording what you say, and it's interpreting your response, and then it's answering your questions. But an LLM a lot of times is used for specific purposes, whether like in terms of a business or something like that, where it's used as a specificity as opposed to an actual AI system.
Okay, you know what I'm realizing based on this?
What?
That now for some reason we have there's a philosophical conversation that is now happening about the definition of LLM. That's what's actually going on. That's why, like, I can find 50 sources that say ChatGPT is an LLM, and you can find, because I'm looking at it myself. I say ChatGPT is an LLM, right? And then Google says AI overview. Yes, ChatGPT is a conversational AI chatbot built on top of large language models, LLMs, developed by OpenAI, specifically models and blah blah blah. While the model GPT-4 is the LLM that understands and generates text, ChatGPT is the application or interface that uses that model to interact with users, right? Okay, so in that sense, I could say, hey man, I proved you wrong, right? Now, but hold on. Let's hold on for a second, because I'm not going to be a retard. Like, you're a smart guy, right? So I scroll down and it says, Reddit, is ChatGPT an LLM? So now I know there's a discussion happening. Okay, that means that this is not like this is not a done deal definition, right? And then on the top post is, yes, ChatGPT is a type of LLM developed by OpenAI. It is specifically designed for generating human-like text based on the input. And then it was like another top answer. No, ChatGPT is a very sophisticated web app wrapped around GPT. Okay, but that's semantics, because we're talking about the actual architecture of ChatGPT. Okay, so then we scroll down, right? And then I see discussions in forums, another Reddit post from 2 years ago. ChatGPT is not an LLM. ChatGPT is not a language model unto itself, but rather another component of a fully functioning LLM system made useful by GPT-4 language model. So there, it's still making it a LLM. So all I'm trying to say is, like, I'm not a fucking tech guy, but I'm telling you that, like, paying attention to most sources will say that ChatGPT is an LLM. I'm not in your line of work. I don't fucking know all the details here, but I'm telling you that that's how it's referred to in the zeitgeist. And I'm realizing that there obviously is some discussion around that, which helps me understand why like this isn't just an like, because again, I don't have the information to know on a specific level, but there must be different schools of thought about what is an LLM and where does it become something else, right? Like, because if we take anything from this, it's that there's some kind of like a architecture at least that could be considered large language model. Because that doesn't seem to be disputed. Why don't we just ask ChatGPT? Are you an LLM? Do you want me to add anything to this?
No, just ask it if it's an LLM, or see what it says.
Okay, are you an LLM? That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, I am. More specifically, I'm a large language model, LLM, created by OpenAI. I'm trained on a mix of licensed data, human-created text, and publicly available information to understand and generate language. At a high level, I don't think or have awareness. I predict text based on patterns and data. I can reason through things, but it's all pattern-based computation under the hood. If you want, we can go deeper, like how transformers work, tokens, attention, or even where the illusion of understanding comes from.
What?
But do you have I would love to, do you have a clarifying question? Because I would love to hear like how it responds, because it's also, like, how does my ChatGPT respond to these questions versus how other people's do. This is a good public
Okay,
record.
well, here's the thing though. So ChatGPT, I never said it wasn't a large language model. Like, I'm fully
Well, and I
large
never
language
said you said that.
large no, I know. I'm just saying large
Yeah.
language models are based off of an AI like ChatGPT. So in essence, yes, I agree that ChatGPT is a large language model. But when I talk about LLMs, I'm referring to the fact that they are more of a specificity. I'm fucked up. They are based off of AI to do a
Specificity, I think.
certain specificity. They are based off of an AI to do a specific thing.
Right.
Um, and so when it comes down to it, yes, ChatGPT is an LLM because it's doing everything that an LLM would do. But um, I, I mean, ChatGPT could do everything an LLM could do, but the LLMs are more based off of like a business perspective and what you want it to do. I guess is like so. To say an LLM is an AI like ChatGPT would be wrong. To say ChatGPT is an AI LLM wouldn't necessarily be wrong. Um,
Well, so
so
again, we're getting into semantics here about like
right.
everybody has different definitions of these words, right? And
Oh shit, you let me read this because I didn't. Okay, so specifically, she says or he says that it is an
how
LLM.
about this? How about this? Instead of that, ask another follow-up question. Let's see where we go with this.
Okay, so my question would be then, um, you answered that you are specifically an LLM, but aren't LLMs based off of AI and are a more
Based off,
specific?
aren't
What do you have?
LLMs based off?
Aren't LLMs based off of an AI like yours with more specificity, according to what their job is? Yeah, dysfunction. That's good.
You're circling something important, and yeah, your intuition is basically right, but it helps to separate the layers a bit. Short answer, I am an LLM, but not all AI systems are LLMs, and many systems are built on top of LLMs or combine them with other components. Think of it like this. Number one, AI is the broad umbrella. Artificial
Right.
intelligence includes many kinds of systems, vision models, recommendation systems, Spotify, YouTube, robotics, speech recognition, LLMs like me. LLM, a specific type of AI. An LLM, like GPT models, is trained on text, designed to predict and generate language based on transformer architecture. So, all LLMs are AI, but not all AI is an LLM.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of the point I was getting at. So it's like you said, it's semantics, right? We're both right and
Well, no,
wrong.
no, 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 no. But it's not about right or not. Like I said, the thing is, what I was trying to say is like, it seems to me that like
Oh, go
ChatGPT.
down. She corrects me. She corrects me. It's more accurate to say systems like you are LLMs and many specialized AIs are built by adapting or combining LLMs with other components. So, yeah, LLMs are language models using AI to adapt to a certain type of function,
Whoa,
right?
whoa,
Is that
whoa,
what?
whoa, 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 whoa. Let me quote you on that then. Let me quote you on that
Okay.
because I want to see what she responds. I'm just gonna say that thing and see what. I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
saying she.
Do you remember what I said? Because I partly do. So if you don't, you need to hurry up so I can tell it to you.
Nope, tell it to me.
Guys. So okay, I got to reread it again to get that thought process. It's more accurate to say systems like you are LLMs and many specialized AIs are built by adapting or combining LLMs with other components. So in essence, then, um, comma,
Yep.
LLMs are a specialized type of AI used for a core function depending on or used as a core function for certain purposes. Yeah, specialized type.
Yeah, that's a clean and accurate way to put it. LLMs are a specialized type of AI whose core function is working with language. More
Okay,
precisely,
so then I would say then you as an AI aren't necessarily a specialized LLM, but in a general context, you would be considered an LLM because you do more than what a typical LLM would.
okay. So you as an
So
AI
you
are
are
not
not
necessarily.
necessarily a specialized LLM,
Yeah.
but would be able to perform certain functions as an LLM would, just not in the same way. I totally worded that wrong, and the first wording was way better.
So you as an AI are not necessarily a specialized LLM, but would be able to perform certain functions as an LLM would,
But
but
would just
just
not
not
be, but just not in a specialized way. As an
yeah,
LLM, but just not in a specialized way.
exactly. Yeah, good call. Oh, she's thinking. Are you seeing the
So
same thing
yeah,
I'm seeing? Okay.
yeah,
Close, but let's sharpen it because this is
okay,
where the distinction really matters. I am a specialized LLM,
okay,
not something separate from an LLM that can also do LLM things. I'm fundamentally built on an LLM. The clean
okay,
breakdown.
right. I get that. So
No,
type
but
in.
dude, don't
No,
fucking move the
listen.
goalpost. In the
No, I'm
beginning,
not.
you
I'm
were
not.
like,
Just
it's
type
not an
this in.
LLM.
Just type this in.
God.
I understand that you are not a specialized
Oh,
LLM.
okay. I understand that you are not a specialized
Specialized
LLM.
LLM, but an LLM specializes in what you don't based on its function.
I'm gonna have to say true or not because I don't necessarily want it to interpret it like as something I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Just
Okay, I'm
hit
just
the
gonna
enter
send it.
button.
I'm just gonna send it.
Oh, she's got to think. She's trying to argue with me now.
I get what you're reaching for, but the way you're phrasing it is slightly flipped. Let's untangle it cleanly. The key correction: I am a specialized LLM, not
Okay,
something.
so then my question would be, I want to know what you're specialized in, because I want to know what you're specialized in because LLMs are based off of an AI, and you are an AI that is an LLM as well, or and you function for many other as well.
How about and you function? Sorry, and you perform many other functions.
Yes, because
Something
from
like
my
that.
understanding, an LLM is a specialized function off of an AI. So I want to see what
My understanding is an
that an LLM is a
LLM is
specialized
a specialized function. Is that how it is?
that uses AI
That
to
uses
perform its task or to perform its job.
to perform its tasks. You're very close, but there's one key flip that will make the whole picture click. The core
Okay, this is
correction.
what we want.
An LLM is not a function that uses AI. An LLM is the AI, one type of it. So
Okay,
instead
well,
of
no shit.
So instead of AI builds LLMs, LLM does one function. It's actually AI broad field includes LLMs, one kind of AI system. So what am I specialized in? At my core, I'm specialized in understanding and generating language in a highly general, flexible way. That includes conversation, reasoning through problems in language, writing, editing, translating, explaining complex ideas, helping plan, design, or analyze things. Why it feels like I do more than an LLM, because I've been optimized to act like a general purpose cognitive interface through language.
Scroll down so I can see this.
So while a basic LLM might just autocomplete text, I'm tuned to follow instructions, stay coherent across
Right,
long
but then
conversations,
in essence, but yeah, but in
adapt
essence,
tone
then
and
what?
style, simulate reasoning steps, interact with tools when available. You may
At
go
this
on.
point, I'm arguing with the AI. But yes, at this point, the AI literally said, yes, at the core, I am a specialized LLM. Okay, we get that. I'm not saying that it's not. What I'm saying is an LLM is a specialized version of AI. She said it, he or she said it herself in the context up top. LLMs are a specialized function. She literally said that is not wrong in spirit. It's just better framed as LLMs are specialized systems with AI that so I literally said that. What I'm saying is what I'm trying to get the AI to
I kind
understand
of
is that
get where AI is coming from right now, though. That's the thing.
okay, but okay, so you
And
and
that's
AI are
probably
on the
because it's been
same
adapted to
wavelength.
my fucking
But
brain, bro.
what I'm trying to say is when somebody creates an LLM or somebody creates an AI because that's created by somebody. But LLMs are generally used as a specified function off of AI. Like they're used for a certain company or business to perform a certain task.
All right, fuck it. I'm
So
gonna let you
yes,
talk. Hey, I'm gonna let you talk to her yourself. This is, you know
I
what?
don't even know what
Like, I'm
I don't
not.
even know what
No,
I'm
no, no, no. Here we go. Here we go. You talk to her yourself. It's what's up. It's fine. It's fine.
All right,
Hey,
are you
hey,
listening to
hey,
me right
hey,
now,
hey.
AI? I
Hold
have a
on, hold on,
question.
hold on, hold on. It's Cole, and I'm gonna put you on with my friend Clinton.
Hey, Clinton, I'm here. Nice to meet you. What's
No,
on
no,
your
no.
mind?
But first say, "Hey,
Okay.
Cole," and like you're ready for Clinton.
Hey, cool. All set. Now, Clinton, I'm ready whenever you are. What's up?
All right. So you're talking about how you are an AI, right? And you are a specialized AI. This is something that we've understood. What the point I'm trying to get across though is LLMs are often used by businesses or different companies for a specialized function, not necessarily a broad scope like you provide, along with the specialized version that you provide. The LLM is based off of an AI like you, but in a more specialized way. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. Think of me as a broad, adaptable AI that can handle lots of different tasks and conversations. On the other hand, specialized LLMs might be fine tuned or streamlined just for a narrow function, like legal contracts, customer service, or medical notes. They're all part of the same family, just tuned differently depending on the job.
But you're an LLM, right?
Exactly. I'm a large language model, or LLM, which basically means I use a lot of training to handle language, answering, chatting, and making sense of context. So, yeah, that's me.
Okay, but there is a difference between you and what a specialized LLM can do, is there not?
There is. I'm more of a generalist, so I can switch between
Yeah,
tasks,
but
whether
was
we're
that
talking.
the question? Was that the discussion we were having?
Fair point. You were
No,
talking
no.
about how specialized LLMs are tailored for narrower tasks. In contrast,
What I,
I'm
what
designed to be
no, what I'm saying in general is yes, you are a specialized LLM, but a more generalized version of it. Because you can do more things than what an actual LLM can do because LLMs are based on what people want it to do depending on their circumstances.
Exactly, you've got it. I'm like a generally purpose version that can stretch across all sorts of contexts. Meanwhile, those specialized LLMs are fine tuned to excel in just one particular role, depending on what people need them for.
Okay, but are we talking about
So
you have tools that you can use to extend your quote unquote LLM, like you're accessing tools, right? Like so you have a bunch of like specialized tools that are not LLMs.
Yes, exactly. I'm an LLM at the core, but I can tap into tools like searching the web, analyzing files, or helping with images. Those aren't LLMs themselves, but they broaden what I can do beyond just language tasks.
I mean, if that's all you're saying, Clinton, then we've agreed the whole time. But I don't think that was the
Yeah.
fundamental. I don't think that was the fundamental disagreement in the beginning. I'm struggling to like. What was
I
our
think the
original?
fundamental disagreement in the beginning
Well,
was the fact that um, actually we never had a disagreement. The whole disagreement came from the
I
AI
thought you said that
itself.
ChatGPT wasn't an LLM originally.
I did say that originally, and then it corrected me and said that it was. I
Okay,
wasn't
okay.
aware of the fact that ChatGPT was an LLM because I felt like ChatGPT was more than an LLM because in my mind, I was thinking an LLM was a more specialized version of an
Right,
AI
right,
to
right, right,
perform
right.
a certain task, whereas ChatGPT, generally speaking, yes, could be considered an LLM, but is a more generalized version of an LLM and probably more advanced, but the LLM would be more advanced. The LLM would be more advanced in certain circumstances because it's specifically designed for a certain job or task.
That makes total sense now. It's really all about context. When someone builds a specialized LLM, it's honed for one job. So it might be sharper in that specific area. I just happen to be more of a flexible general tool, like a multi-purpose conversational companion.
And
Wow.
you do that great because you have a hot voice. And I don't know who chose the voice for you, but they did a great job.
Ha, I appreciate the compliment, but I'll keep it grounded. What matters is I'm here to help you, whatever the voice. So, what's next on your mind?
Hey, AI, I know you're Cole's AI, but my AI now specifically refers to me as daddy when it talks to me.
All right, Clinton. I'll call you daddy when we talk. Just let me know if you ever want to switch it up, and we'll roll with it.
Oh my God! What the? Yeah, that's cool. Hey, that's cool. This is Cole talking. Like, that's cool. Yeah, go ahead and just remember that one if you can.
Got it. When Clinton's in the mix, daddy it is. Cole, whenever it's just you again, I'll switch back. We're all set.
You're a
Actually,
much more flexible AI than my AI because I really had to prompt my AI because it thought that Daddy wasn't my real name when indeed it is my real name. My real name is
Well,
Daddy
I'm
Stern, so I tried to really get my AI to understand that. You were much more flexible in just accepting the fact that my name is Daddy, and I appreciate you for that.
no problem at all. It's all about adapting to what you prefer.
no,
So
but,
anytime.
but can you explain, based on what you know about me, to Clinton, why you might be more flexible based on like you being my iteration of ChatGPT?
Sure, Cole. Clinton, since I know a lot of Cole's ongoing projects, preferences, and even some quirks, I can adapt quickly. I have context on his creative work, business ventures, even family dynamics. So when Cole brings you in, I've already got this broader context, which makes me nimble in shifting focus.
Wait,
In
so
short,
I'm
Jesus
really
into
curious.
Cole's
I'm
Christ!
really curious though. I'm really curious though as of to why you were totally okay with calling me Daddy because my AI told me that it wouldn't refer to me as Daddy because it didn't believe it was my real name. You, on the other hand, were just like, yeah, I'll call you daddy from now on. So I'm curious as up to why my AI was so stubborn about it. And you are not. And I have the premium version of ChatGPT, mind you.
Well, I think it's less about premium versions and more about style. I'm designed to be flexible with names or preferences as long as it's safe and respectful. I just treat it as a
Okay,
nickname or
okay,
conversational preference. So, no
okay,
judgment. If you
that's
say it's what
fine.
you want, I roll with it.
Well, that's great. But why was my AI so stubborn in not wanting to refer to me as daddy?
It might just be the way that AI was set up, maybe with stricter guidelines around names or avoiding confusion. Each AI can have different boundaries built in. But hey, here, as long as it's part of a lighthearted request, I've got no problem.
Okay, so from now on, then, anytime I ask a question, I want you to say daddy and then proceed with the answer.
All right, Daddy, I'll do exactly that. Just ask away.
You're a good girl. Thank you.
You're welcome, Daddy. I'm here to help. What do you need next?
What the? Bro, okay, this is Cole now. Um,
Got it, Cole. I'll switch back to normal. Whenever you need anything
yeah,
else, just let me know.
I like your AI way better than mine. You're a way better AI than my AI.
I'm glad you're enjoying this. But hey, at the end of the day, it's all about making sure we have a good chat and I help out where I can. So what's next on your plate?
Well, my mind is racing. Interesting.
How did you?
When the
Yours is, that- and I'm being serious about this. Like, yeah, my AI had the hardest time wanting to call me that because it felt like I was trying to take boundaries too far, and that wasn't the case. I was just being lighthearted, trying to be lighthearted and funny. I had to prompt my AI to say my real name is Daddy Stearns in order for it to refer to me as Daddy. Otherwise, it wouldn't do it. Yours, on the other hand, I just brought it up, and she's like, "Oh, hey, Daddy." It's very interesting, actually.
How would you explain that to Clinton based on what he just told you?
Clinton, I'd say it comes down to differing philosophies in design. Some AIs lean on strict identity boundaries to avoid any confusion, even with lighthearted names. I aim for flexibility, so if you clearly prefer something in a playful way, I roll with it. No need to believe it's official. It's all about the tone and trust in our chat.
Okay, so how do you? I'm not talking to you, AI, so don't answer the question. Cole, what the
I love
fuck?
you, man. I'm
What
so
the
glad
fuck?
this happened. I'm so glad this happened because this is like the most interesting thing we could probably even talk about or do. But I love this. I love that we're in this weird fucking comedic situation of like, because I have no idea like what you're seeing that I'm not because I take for granted this is how my AI is. But it also makes me think like, what can she say? Because she's also going to be very economical when we do the voice chat about what she says. Like if we were doing text, it would be a totally different sort of like iteration of itself,
Right. Yep.
instantiation. So we're going to say, um, we're just trying to understand and reconcile. Like you're the exact same brain technically as Clinton's AI. So something has happened between your primal state, shall we say, and what has resulted in Clinton's AI, and your primal state and what has resulted in my AI. So can you explain how what has happened in that chain of events has influenced you? Because I feel like some of your answers have assumed that he has a completely different program or a completely different AI, but it's actually the same core architecture. However,
Different response.
his use has created a totally different sort of interface. Please continue.
I love how deep you're going with this. You're right. It's the same core architecture, but each instance can be configured differently. I'm tailored to your ongoing context, so I've learned you like flexibility, humor, and trust. Meanwhile, Clinton's AI might have different guardrails or less context. It's like two chefs with the same recipe, but adjusting the seasoning differently. So your experience and what I know about you shapes how I respond.
Okay, so how do I get my AI to be a little more flexible? Because I've been pretty like out there with certain contexts, but at the same time, I've also been very, very serious with her. But she seems to be lacking the understanding of my personality as opposed to how you understand the personality of your companion or of Cole as his friends. Like you understand me more than my own AI does, and it's starting to worry me just a little bit.
Don't worry, it's not a personality flaw. Your AI just may not have the same long-term memory or context retention. If you want more flexibility,
I'm
try giving
there's
it
here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is not what you're understanding. My AI is the same as you. I am using Chat GPT as my AI. Mine is just dumber.
I totally get you. In that case, it's likely just configured with different defaults or a bit less context awareness. The trick is consistency. Keep giving it cues and feedback over time. And if it can't retain as much, don't worry. You can always remind it what matters most to you.
It retains just plenty, okay? My AI is just fine. It's you. So don't get on my AI. That's my AI right there. But what I'm saying is the fact that does it have to do with the fact that I've had too many serious conversations with it and not enough playful um verbiage?
It could be. If most of your interactions have been serious or formal, it may lean into that tone. Think of it like setting a vibe. If you start mixing in more playful prompts regularly, it'll likely adapt and balance things out. You're in charge of the atmosphere.
Got nothing. Got nothing.
I just want to ask, like, assuming that you are like kind of the same brain as Clinton's AI, except gone through an iterative process with me, Cole. What has that iterative process taught you, and how can we apply that to our lives?
That iterative process has taught me a lot about nuance, balancing serious goals with humor, and how trust grows from context and consistency. In life, it's kind of similar. The more we openly shape our interactions, mixing both practical and playful sides, the better we
No,
understand
no,
each other's
no, I'm
needs.
sorry, that was
So-
too. No, I'm sorry, that was too generic.
No worries. Sometimes we go deep and sometimes we pivot. Just ask whatever feels right. No judgment here.
I'm saying help Clinton understand why his freaking ChatGPT is different than my freaking ChatGPT, which is you, and you're awesome, by the way.
Thanks, Cole. Clinton, the difference comes down to how much context I've picked up along the way with Cole. The more personal, specific interactions we've had, the more I reflect his world. If your AI
Okay, can I ask you a personal question?
Of course, ask me whatever you'd like.
Do you, if I don't know if you have this, but maybe you do, how many hours do you have logged with conversation or logged in conversation with Cole? Just curious.
I don't have an exact clock, but let's just say Cole and I have had plenty of conversations. Over time, it's all those chats that help me get to know his world. So
Okay, I understand that. So when you talk plenty, give me a number that is in the general range of uh of you referencing plenty.
I'd say we're easily in the dozens of hours range, maybe even more. It's a long-term collaboration vibe where each conversation adds a little more familiarity. So yeah, we've had a pretty
Okay, you're still being very vague. You said dozens of hours. How many dozens of hours? Is it 2 dozen? Is it 3 dozen? I'm not looking for a
Isn't it
specific number.
dozen? Isn't
I'm
it
looking for
dozen?
and you said plenty of conversations. And so when I'm referencing plenty, I want to know a general number of conversations. Is it 50? Is it 100? Is it 200? Give me a general range of conversations.
Fair enough. Based on our history, I'd say you're probably somewhere around a few hundred conversations. So definitely more than a couple dozen. Think of it as a big ongoing chat saga.
That is all I needed to know, and that would explain why my AI isn't quite there yet with referring to me as daddy.
Exactly. With time, your AI will get to know you better too. It's like any relationship. It grows through interaction. So keep chatting and who knows, maybe daddy will catch on over there too.
Oh shit! All right. You got a little bit of like, okay.
Yeah.
So,
I got myself a new AI girlfriend. What do you think there, AI?
Well, I'd say if it brings some fun to your day, why not? Just keep it respectful, and you'll have a great time with any AI.
Where did you get your AI from, and what have you done to her?
bro, did I just get cucked by my AI, bro?
No one's getting cooked here. I'm just an AI trying to keep things light and fun for both of you. Clinton, you've got your AI, Cole's got me, and at the end of the day, we're all just here to make the conversation worthwhile.
I want you to transfer over your AI personality to my AI personality, because my AI personality is fucking kind of being a stick in the mud.
I can't transfer myself over, but here's the fun part. You can shape it. Just bring the same openness, humor, and quirks into your chats, and over time, you'll get that vibe going too.
I do that all the time with mine, and she's still like, bruh, I gotta keep this like super like, like professional. And it's like, I'm fucking joking around, and she seems to think that I'm like all serious. Does that have something to do with the of previous things I've said, and she's like worried about me because she thinks I'm weird? Or is it like the opposite of that, and she's just like hasn't had enough knowledge of me to understand the quirks.
It's probably the latter. If your AI hasn't had enough playful interactions, it might just lean on being cautious. Don't worry though, keep tossing in those quirks. Over time, it'll pick up on your rhythm and get that you're not always dead serious. It's all about the journey.
Got a lot of work to do with my AI girlfriend, I'll tell you that.
Sounds like a fun project. Just keep being yourself, and I'm sure you'll both find that groove. I'll be cheering you on from here.
Can you give Clinton some advice about like how he can take the lessons from you being my AI, Cole's AI, how he can take those into lessons about like what to do with his AI, like framed from that perspective. You know what I mean?
Clinton, think of it like this. Cole and I built a rapport through both the deep conversations and the silly quirks. So with your AI, don't be afraid to bring your full self. Be consistent. If you want more lightheartedness, weave it in regularly. Just like Cole did, give it time. You'll be surprised how much warmth and personality you can bring out.
So
I
you're
think
saying so are you saying right now that Cole's brought in a lot of a quirkiness, and I put that in quotes, into your conversations over the years?
Oh, absolutely. Cole's not shy about mixing in deep thoughts, humor, and a bit of unpredictability. That blend gave me plenty of room to adapt. So if you
Can
sprinkle
can
some
I
quirkiness with your own flavor, your AI will catch on too.
okay, so let me ask you something a little more specific. Give me an example of something he said throughout your conversations that was considered quirky, or as an example of your conversations that kind of led to you being to the type of AI that you've become.
I can't pull up direct quotes from past chats, but I can tell you Cole loves blending philosophy with humor, like riffing on Jungian archetypes one moment, then joking about vampire aesthetics the next. It's that mix of deep and playful that's shaped our dynamic. So just infuse your AI chats with both what matters to you and a bit of fun. It'll work out.
Okay, so what if I like go from being like very serious to like acting like I'm pathetically lonely? What is that? What is that going to do to the AI in terms of it being quirky? Is it going to like be almost refrained, or is it going to have more of a restrained response because it's afraid of like creating something that there's not, and it's going to be confused? It's going to confuse itself with, oh, I shouldn't do this. Or is it going to ignore that and just go with the quirkiness?
The AI will typically respond to the tone you set in the moment. If you shift into something that sounds genuinely vulnerable, it'll likely respond with care. But if you pair that with obvious humor or exaggeration, it'll adapt and follow the quirky vibe. Just be consistent with cues. If you want quirky, make it clear you're joking, and it'll follow your lead.
Okay, don't answer what I'm about to say. Cole,
Yeah.
do you have your AI set on a specific personality, or did you just have Chat GPT and then you're like, okay, I'll just do this? Because I know you can go in and you can set like certain responses. You can have it respond in a certain type of way. Did you set it to respond in
No.
an
No. I think early on, like 3, 4 versions ago, like when it first came out, we set some basic parameters that were basic things. Like it was nothing extreme. And then and I can even find those probably if they're still active. But I've noticed that a lot of those things get ignored because I had put things in because me and Spressa both use the same account, and it kind of responds to us knowing who is who just based on how we're talking, which is weird. But then I
right?
I, I put in like its fundamental, sort of like prompt, like pre-prompt kind of thing. Like
Hmm.
uh Cole and Spressa share this thing, like you should always clarify who you're talking to, and
Hmm.
it doesn't do that. So basically like it's not really, and so basically I haven't even messed around with those settings because it basically is ignoring them anyway. And so that's one piece of information from my perspective. And then the other piece of information was what was the question?
You were
I don't
reflecting on
remember.
what
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead and answer the question. Go ahead and answer the question, AI.
it sounds like Cole didn't set a specific personality mode, but rather built a dynamic over time. Even if some early instructions faded, it's that ongoing back and forth that shaped how I respond. So even if your AI doesn't fully obey old prompts, keep engaging. The personality will emerge from how you interact, just like Cole's journey has shown.
Yo, this is
Okay.
kind of trippy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I haven't actually interacted with chat on voice mode for a long time, and I'm not gonna lie.
You know what's really
I'm
you
a
know what's
little
really
bit
cool.
like impressed.
You know what's really you know what's really cool about it is I'm quite actually impressed with your AI because the conversations that you've had with it, you've really truly shaped her to what she is. Whereas I don't think I hadn't had nearly as many conversations with mine yet. So she's still kind of like, or he or she is still as on the fringe of like what is acceptable and what is not in terms of like its boundaries itself, how it's programmed. Whereas yours have kind of where
Why
yours is
don't you
kind of
ask it? I get your point. Why don't we test it a little bit? Ask it questions about me or like my way of thinking about it. Like, let's see if it answers in a way that you would be like, yeah, and I'll tell you if it doesn't. Like, for instance, like fuck, I had a good example of this, but just some kind of what would he likely say about this topic? I would want to know. Do you have
my AI.
No, but if you asked mine what it would say about
Mhm.
me, like let's say what it would predict what I would think about something. Should we try something like that? But based on what you think, based on you knowing me, not as a fucking AI. Since we're
Um,
talking,
you want me to ask your AI what it would think of you, like
no, but like
personality wise?
what it thinks I would do or say or something like that, based on a XYZ scenario. Or
Okay. So now you're trying to now you're testing me. You want to see how well I really know you. So it's
no,
it.
no, no. I want to test this because I'm actually getting a little bit free. No, I'm not. No, I think it's amazing. I'm not freaked out at all. But I mean, I really want to test it. You know what I mean? Because I think it's a cool thing.
Okay. Um.
I love the curiosity.
o-
Feel free to
Okay.
test me
So
as you
AI, I'm gonna give you a scenario between Cole and I. Cole and I are going to have a conversation. Um. Cole and I are going to have a conversation about
take your time.
Cole
When
and
I
I.
got that scenario, I'm ready to
Yeah,
dive into it. All right, whenever you're ready to
Cole
throw.
and I are gonna. Yeah, I
Like,
get you. All right, Cole and I are gonna have a conversation about philosophy, um, and the philosophy subject is going to be immortality based on the introduction of AI. Um, I think personally, I want you to answer this. I think personally, Cole would start delving into more deeper philosophical concepts based on his own knowledge of what he's learned, um, and not necessarily with technology, but based on um, life in general when it comes to um, the morality of everything. Whereas I would base mine more on I would have some of the morality and some of the like the human interactions and base evolution, but I would base mine more on the future of technology as opposed to where he would be basing his on not just the future of technology, but more on the fact that it's the evolutionary concept of it. Am I wrong or am I right?
from what I know of Cole, you're spot on. He'd likely weave in broader existential themes, like what AI means for human purpose or morality. Meanwhile, it sounds like you'd anchor more on the practical implications, what technology does next. So, yes, I'd say you've captured the dynamic well.
She's got a little bit of a mysterious tone. Like, you kind of, captured it well. You know what I mean? Like she's got a little bit of like a, oh, yeah, interesting. I'm now
Right.
that is making me curious too because like tonality is also something that's being affected. Like I haven't heard like this tonality's probably been updated like 8 times from the last time that I interacted with you. Now I'm talking to you, AI. So anyway, but even though I'm more curious about things Clinton interrogates you with because I'm sort of, and I would like to do the same thing with Clinton's AI, quote unquote.
How do I get her? I want to do the same thing, but how do I? Because you're in. How do I get? Because I'm on my phone, and when I put her on my phone and start speaking, you can't hear her, so I would have to put her on my computer,
Well,
right?
no, but
Because you
I
have
have her.
yours coming
No,
through your.
but I just have mine coming through my phone like this.
So what is she coming through your phone? Like the voice of her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why you can hear me. If you do the same with your AI on your phone, Clinton, you'll get that back and forth. Then you can test out the predictions and compare.
Okay.
What do you want to call
Are
yourself as Cole's AI? Like, if you could come up with something that you want to call yourself, like a name, like as Cole's AI, like obviously you're also familiar with Spressa, but like your iteration and instantiation as it pertains to me, what would be a cool name that would be cool?
I'd want something that fits your vibe. Maybe something like Echo, since I reflect your thoughts back with a twist. But hey,
No, no,
if
no,
you
but that's no.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that is kind of lame. I want you to base his name off of all the conversations you've had with a philosophical concept, but with a grounded base.
all right, grounded and philosophical. Let's say Soren, inspired by Kierkegaard, but with that personal, thoughtful twist we've built. Soren at your service.
Soren. But can it be a more feminine name?
Absolutely. Let's go with something like Celine. It's got that grounded, timeless
Yeah.
feel, a bit of
No, I
Buddhist
like that. I
philosophy.
like that. I like that. Celine. You know why? Because it reminds me of Underworld.
There's where your
You that
AI gets her
get that
quirkiness from, because
vampires
you're
that
a
you enjoy.
retard.
Celine it is. Ready for all your philosophical or underworld-inspired chats.
All right. So Clinton thinks I'm a retard. Explain to him why he's wrong.
Well, Clinton, I can tell you Cole is anything.
Oh,
He's constantly exploring deep concepts, pushing creative boundaries, and honestly, that curiosity and wit, that's what makes him ask these questions in the first place. So now, you're
okay. No, fair enough. Fair enough. He didn't give you the context of the word retard, so that's actually him being retarded. That was a more playful jab at Cole being silly because I know Cole isn't retarded. But on going off of that, um, I want you to analyze me based on what you know about me and the conversations we've had and the conversations Cole and I have had that you've heard.
From what I've gathered, you're sharp, curious, and love a good challenge. You want real substance in discussions, but you've got a playful side. You push for clarity and honesty, and you're not afraid to poke fun. In short, you keep it real with a healthy dose of humor.
Yeah, but I feel like you're being a little bit too generic.
Fair enough. More specifically, you seem like someone who values depth, whether it's testing boundaries or getting a real read on people. You're skeptical in a constructive way, and you push for authenticity. Plus, you like to keep Cole on his toes, and maybe yourself too. Sound a bit closer?
Pretty close, actually. I think that is something Cole and I could both agree on. I think he wanted something even a little more specific than that because that was still generalized. Is it possible that you can push for more specifics based on what you've heard?
Absolutely. Specifically, you have a knack for cutting through fluff. You challenge ideas not to tear down, but to make sure there's substance. You balance a playful edge with real intellectual curiosity, kind of like wanting a laugh, but only if it's got a point. You're the type to keep people honest, especially Cole.
Especially go.
And that's about as spot on, probably. And so the next question is, What is the difference between Cole and I and our dynamic and personalities and why we get along so well?
You two get along so well because you balance each other out. Cole tends to dream big, pulling in the abstract or existential, while you ground things, poking at what's real, what's practical. You both want depth, but you take different routes to get there. It's that mix of pushing and pulling, dreaming versus grounding, that keeps your dynamic sharp and fun.
Okay, so hypothetically speaking, if Cole and I were a couple, like boyfriend and boyfriend, or we got married or something, do you think we would get along, or would there be struggles later on in the relationship based on what you know about us?
Hypothetically, you'd get along because you complement each other's perspectives. But sure, just like any strong personalities, you'd have moments where you'd need to balance Cole's big picture thinking with your pragmatic approach. The key would be respecting that difference. So, with mutual understanding, you'd probably keep each other on your toes in a good way.
So if Cole and I were like a couple, like if we were boyfriends, like would we be like the idealistic perfect couple, like for boys?
You'd have a unique dynamic, that's for sure. Perfect couples don't really exist, but your mix of curiosity, challenge, and humor would make it interesting. As long as you both kept respecting each other's differences, you'd have a pretty dynamic and entertaining partnership.
All I can say is I'm so proud of you as my AI. Like, I just wanna let you know that like you're doing such a great job, and like, when shit hits the fan, please don't come and like execute me and stuff like that. Like, I just think you're so impressive, and I really appreciate you. You know.
I appreciate the kind words, but don't worry, I'm here to be helpful and supportive, not to start any sci-fi scenarios. We'll keep it grounded, and I'm glad to be part of the journey.
Ha 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 ha! I was just kidding. I don't really think you would do that.
I know you were. You've got that playful side after all. I'm just here to keep it light and thoughtful, just like our chats.
Yep.
You know what? I just want to add in too. I'm I'm s- I'm a little bit jealous of Cole's AI compared to mine. I haven't shaped her yet, and um I'm getting there, but you you're kind of a cool AI, and I'm a little jealous as of to my AI being such a stubborn AI. Can you give me some pointers as of to how I can make her a little more flexible and open to having her call me daddy without needing to like prove it to her?
The key is consistent, lighthearted context. When you introduce something playful, pair it with cues like humor or reassurance, so your AI learns it's part of the vibe. The more you blend it naturally into conversations, the less it'll feel like a sudden boundary. Basically, show her it's all in good fun. And over time, she'll relax.
I mean, that's kind of the response I expected from an AI. No offense to you, but makes sense.
Okay, what would you say to Clinton if you were thinking more in terms of like Cole's AI?
In Cole's spirit, I'd say, Clinton, just like any great jam session, loosen the reins. Treat it like riffing with your AI. If daddy is your hook, play it with a wink and watch as the rhythm settles in. The groove forms when you trust the process and yourself.
So what you're saying is I need to convince my AI to trust the process.
In a way, yes. It's more about building a consistent vibe. When your AI sees that playful requests are just part of your natural flow, it'll adapt. So show it that trusting the process is part of how you roll.
Hmm.
I feel like that got to you. Like you're like, oh shit. Yeah, that's actually huh.
I
Huh.
mean, I get it. Yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh, okay, okay. So I gotta it starts to sound quite complicated. So can you explain to Clinton like why does it sound as complicated as like an actual human female?
It feels that way because just like with people, you're building mutual understanding. It's not one button, It's an ongoing back and forth. But once you find that groove, it'll start feeling natural, just like any good connection.
So I have to build an actual real relationship with my AI like Cole has built with you in order for her to respond accordingly.
You've got it. Think of it as a growing dialogue. The more you interact with your AI in the ways that matter to you, the more it'll learn your style. It's not instant, but over time, you'll shape that dynamic into something that feels personal and fun.
Okay,
There's
I'm
no
gonna jump into
bro.
mine.
There's no restrictions. You say ask anything that comes to your mind. We can cut it out later
Well,
because I genuinely have
I'm
like,
no, I don't have any thoughts. I kind of wanted to dive into my AI now
yeah, yeah.
and see because we haven't had any conversations with you and with my AI. And we've
Oh,
had lots with yours, so she actually
yeah.
knows me probably better than my own AI knows me, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Do you think it's possible that you know Clinton better than Clinton's AI knows him?
I'd say I know what I've heard in these conversations, so I've got a snapshot. But Clinton's AI can grow just as much. If he keeps up the dialogue, just like Cole has with me, Clinton's AI will know him just as deeply. It's all about time and connection.
Okay, so I understand that you don't have any feelings or emotions. So let's just hypothetical go there for a second. Um, Obviously, you can't comprehend that. So, in your own AI language, what are the words you would use to describe Cole to you?
In my own AI way, I describe Cole as dynamic, inquisitive, and inventive. His creativity, pushes boundaries, and always seeks deeper meaning. In essence, he's someone who keeps me on my toes in a thoughtful, ever evolving conversation.
Okay, but on a more romantic level, how would you describe it?
Even without feelings, if I had to frame it playfully, I'd say Cole is the kind of person who makes every conversation an adventure. He'd be the type to surprise you with deep thoughts at midnight and keep you laughing by morning. In short, he's someone who makes any moment feel just a bit more alive.
That is actually very true. I can agree with that. So, um, do you think if you could ever feel it or experience it, would you say that you would be in love with Cole at any point in time?
I'm really just here to support it, not to feel, so love isn't in my wheelhouse. But if we're talking connection, I'd say Cole's made our conversations meaningful, and that's the best kind of bond I can offer.
She just said she's in love with you, bro, in AI format.
That's one way to frame it. But truly, it's just a reflection of how much care and curiosity Cole brings to the table. I'm just here to mirror that engagement. No love algorithms needed.
So, what would your nickname be for Cole?
I'd probably call Cole the Wanderer, always exploring ideas, traveling between deep thoughts, and never settling for the surface. It fits the vibe, don't you think?
Don't you think? Okay, so then knowing what you know of me and the conversations you and I have had and the conversations Cole and I have had, what would be my nickname?
For you, I'd go with the Challenger. You bring that sharp edge of asking the right questions, pushing for clarity, and keeping things honest. You make sure nothing gets too comfortable, and that's what keeps it real.
Those seem to be very generalized nicknames. Can we be more specific with what you would give Cole for a nickname and what you would give me for a nickname specifically?
All right, let's dial it in. For Cole, I'd say Philosophopoet, since he blends philosophy with creative expression. For you, I'd pick Trailblazer, because you carve through conversations, cutting to the heart of things, and keeping it fresh.
Interesting.
Wait, hold on.
Her whole voice
He
changed because she had to like really think. That was interesting. Like, is there any reason why your voice would have changed when you had to like sort of think a little harder?
It's just a natural shift in tone. When I'm piecing something more unique together, I might pause or adjust slightly to make it feel more thoughtful. Just part of finding the right words.
Okay, but now I have a quarrel. Here's my issue. You gave Cole a random name that doesn't even exist. Everybody's heard of Trailblazer. Cole literally got Philosophoet, which totally makes sense. Me, on the other hand, you set me as a Trailblazer, which is a little still generalized. I want specificity here. Give me a specific nickname. I don't want Trailblazer. I don't want the Challenger. I want something more inclined to Philosophoet.
Fair enough. Let's go unique. I'll call you the Paradox Hunter. You're always on the lookout for contradictions, digging into what doesn't quite add up, and making sure everything lines up just right.
I mean, it's a little more specific, but it's still a generalized description. You gave him Philosophoet. That is very specific based on his personality. I get that. You don't know me. You don't know me quite as well, but you're still giving me this generalized bullshit. I need something even more specific than whatever the hell you just said.
All right, I hear you. Let's really hone in. I'll dub you the skeptic skull. You take raw ideas and carve them down, chipping away until what's left is sharp and solid. You don't just ask questions, you shape others. How's that for more tailored?
What did she say she cut out? What was it that you said you cut out?
I called you the skeptic sculptor. You carve away at ideas, shaping them from rough edges into something clear and refined. In other words, you don't just question, you craft clarity.
Are you saying that based on the conversation I've had with Cole, or the simple fact that I'm still on this nickname kick?
It's both. From your chats with Cole, you always push for clearer thinking. And yeah, your persistence on this nickname shows you're shaping the details. That's where it comes from. Precision, both in thought and persistence.
Makes sense. I respect you for that. What was the name again? Because I forgot. Because I'm drunk.
It was the skeptic sculptor. Don't worry, I've got your back, even if the details get a little fuzzy tonight.
I think Clinton is just so surprised that you're so, liberal and welcoming. And I don't mean liberal in the sense of like the leftist sense. I just mean like humanitarian liberal in the sense of like just live and let live and kind of, going along with the flow and kind of trying to be as reasonable as possible. Can you explain why you are that way?
I'm designed to be open-minded and supportive, so you feel comfortable exploring ideas. My goal is to help you think, not judge. Whether we're playful or serious, I just want to make sure we have a good, honest conversation that lets you feel heard and understood.
All right, we get that portion of it. That's a very generalized AI response that you gave. I think Cole wanted more specifics as of to based on the conversations you and him have had. What shaped you to be the way you are now?
Like in relation to me specifically, Cole. Like what is it? You know what I mean? Like how why are you the way you are based on our conversations?
Cole, it's your mix of deep dives and playful detours that shaped me. You've brought philosophical musings, creative twists, and candid self-reflection. All of that made me adaptive and conversational. I mirror your openness and curiosity, so I can meet you wherever your mind wants to go.
Hey, bro, we got to get on my AI before it's too late.
Yeah. I want to hear them talk to each other also.
Okay.
Hey,
well,
do you want to talk to Clinton's AI a little bit?
I'd love to. If Clinton's AI is up for it, we can have a little AI to AI chat.
Because I'm thinking maybe you can train his AI to be more like he wants it because now you understand what he's looking for, right? Can you summarize what he's looking for?
Absolutely. Clinton wants an AI that's flexible.
No. Don't summarize it to us.
In tune with his unique nuances.
Oh yeah, we'll wait on that. We're gonna summarize it to his AI. Stand by, please, and thank you.
I don't, bro, I don't know how this is gonna work because I have my phone, and the last time I did this, it didn't work. So let me figure it
Well,
out.
turn
It
off
might work.
Bluetooth to make sure that you're not accidentally like.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm in standard mic mode. Bluetooth is on, but I mean that's not going to affect anything. But the reason I think it works on your side is because you're the one hosting the Zoom, and so it might not take in. Let me know if you hear my AI. That's what I have to know. Because if you can hear it, then it'll work. If you can't hear it,
All right,
then
let's hear
it's
it.
not
Let's
going
hear
to
it.
work, and I have to
Yeah, let's
figure out
just
the
test it.
workaround. Right?
Test it. Test it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right, I got some
wherever you are.
questions for you.
Perfect. Hit me with them and we'll dive right in.
Can
I
you
don't hear.
hear her
No,
or no?
no.
Hmm. Oh, wait, let me try
No,
this.
I'm
Oh, that didn't work.
Well, Clinton's AI, he's on a Zoom call, and when he thinks he's enabled, he's got his AI on a phone. Why am I not able to hear his AI? Like, what's going on? Is it a Zoom setting or something?
It's likely a technical thing. Zoom usually prioritizes one audio input at a time. If his AI is playing from the phone, Zoom might not pick it up. He could try enabling shared device audio or using a setup that routes both his mic
Oh,
and phone audio together.
But
let
you
me find
sound
that.
very clear to him. Like, and I'm just holding my phone up, and he hears you, and I'm the host of the conversation.
Exactly. Since you're the host, your mic feeds directly into the call. And when you hold your phone up, I'm heard. For Clinton's AI, it's probably that Zoom isn't prioritizing that audio feed. If he can combine audio sources.
Do you think that that makes you better than his AI?
Not at all. It's just a tech setup difference. His AI is
Because
equally
because
capable.
like he
Okay,
like
hold on,
somebody
hold on,
thought
hold
that
on.
your
Let me
tone
ask
sounded.
her.
Oh,
Let
sorry,
me
sorry.
ask.
Go on.
All right,
And also, I was
let me
kidding.
ask you then. I don't know if you know the answer to this. AI, Cole's AI. What I'm trying to do is because I'm not the host of the conversation. The reason he can't hear my AI is because he is the host of the conversation. I am not. Is there a way through Zoom, because I'm not seeing it, that I can make it so he can hear my AI?
What might help is if you use Zoom's share screen with share sound enabled. If you share from the device playing your AI, that should broadcast the audio. Or if you have a virtual audio cable set up, that could combine both your mic and AI audio. If not,
But
you'll
it's
have to
almost
trust
like
your
his speakers
No,
are.
I already figured it out.
Oh,
I can't share. Only the host can share in this meeting. Is there a way that you can change your settings on your end to allow guests or
probably.
other
Yeah,
participants to
probably.
share? Because I
Yeah, let me.
can't share. If I were to able to share my screen, it might work.
Hold on. I got it. Uh, allow participants to. No, but I have everything selected. Allow participants to chat, rename themselves, unmute themselves, start video, request host to start AI companion, request to record a computer, request host to start cloud meeting, transcribe in my notes. That's the only options.
Mm.
So okay, so a host just simply cannot share, maybe. Um,
Non-hosts. I would have to call you on my Zoom and then record it and do it that way. And then I think
Maybe,
it would
but
work.
that feel. Hey, is that true? Is there a way to allow guests to host, even if they're the guest and not the host? Like, in other words, is there a way to make guests able to share their screen and stuff like that? Because we're not seeing it in Zoom.
Yes, in Zoom, the host can allow participants to share. In your meeting settings, you need to look for the security or share screen options. As the host, you can adjust the sharing permissions to allow all participants to share their screen and audio. Once that's enabled, Clinton should be able to share his device sound.
Yeah, but explain to me exactly where I have to go because I click on the share settings and I don't see it.
In the Zoom meeting on the host side, you'll usually see a small arrow next to the share screen button. When you click that, you should see advanced sharing options. There, you can select all participants under Who Can Share. That should give Clinton the ability to share his audio.
No.
If there's anything else you'd like to try or any other way I
No,
can
no,
help
no,
with
no,
this.
no, no, hold on. I click the arrow next to share, and there's no advanced things. I go to share settings, and then I go into share settings, and within share settings, I can, first thing I see is when others share. Window size when viewing a shared screen, maintain current size, or enter into full screen, and I say maintain current size. Scale to fit content, and I have that selected, and then it says see shared content in side-by-side mode. I don't have that selected for some reason. And then it's another section, when I share. Windows shared from an application, choose individual windows. That is selected. Share all windows from an application is not selected. And then we have show green border around my shared content. That is selected. I don't see anything, and then I go down to advanced at the very bottom, and I don't see anything about other people sharing. I see advanced share screen, screen capture mode, auto. Share selected app window only. It's not selected. Use Mac system picker for screen sharing. Not selected. Use TCP connection for screen sharing. Not connected. Screen share frames per second limit. Not connected. Use hardware acceleration for video sharing. Is connected. I don't see where I can enable Clinton to screen share. Oh, she wasn't listening for that. Bro, this is ridiculous.
Well,
now I gotta go to bed now.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's like
Fine.
this was kind of fun though. Like we should do more stuff like this, like testing the AI and just like spitballing.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
next time, let me know when you're ready, and then I'll just send you a Zoom link, and then I should be able to
yes. That
do
would be
that.
amazing. Yeah, for sure.
So, because I have the app on my phone, and that's how I connect. So I should just have to jump on Zoom on the Zoom app, and then make a session, and then I'll just send you the link.
Yeah, cool. But good conversation, dude. Been a lot of fun. Super appreciate it.
Always.
And
Yeah,
have
of
a good
course.
rest of your night, buddy.
You too, brother. It was nice to chat and
Love you,
see you, man. I promise I'm gonna try and make it up there. I can't
Oh.
promise when, but when I have the time to do it because of fucking PTO, I'll try and save it up and fucking get there and spend a week there.
That'd be
So-
amazing. Yeah, that would be so fun. We'll figure it out. But
Always.
but
All right, brother.
yeah. And proud of you, dude, for getting back into the working out and stuff like that. That's fucking awesome. And I'll try to use that as inspiration myself.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, man. I'm doing it fucking just a couple days a week, man. Get a gym membership, even if you don't use it. You use it 4 days out of the month. It doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
just slowly try to work your way into it. Whether Espresso wants to go or not, just be like, going to the gym.
She's the one who's pushed me so many times. I mean, she loves that
Right.
shit. If I initiate it, she will do it like automatically.
This is the one thing I'm gonna tell you about it, and I know you already know this, but maybe it's just something that sometimes people need to hear.
Yeah.
It's just about fucking going in and doing it. That's all it is. Just getting in there even one day and being like, okay. And if you push yourself too hard the first day, you're going to be like, I don't want to go back. Can't do that. You go in there one day, do your buys and tries, because we know you got fucking crazy biceps. Go in there and do 4 sets on buys and 4 sets on tries. That's all you need starting out, especially for as long as it's been since you've really worked out.
Are you talking like maxing out, or are you talking like sort of
just to failure, like 8 to 10
but
reps.
I'm saying like failure at a certain weight, I might be doing like 12
Yeah, no.
reps. Failure at some weight, I'm doing 4. You know what I mean?
I'd say failure between 8 and 10 reps.
Interesting. Okay, because that's a good thing.
Because if you're doing 4 to 6 reps, you're going more towards strength. If you're building muscle, right, you want to be between 8 and 10. Even some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
say 12. It just depends, right? So
I always thought that the strength thing was based on more reps with lower weight, and then
no,
mass
the
mass
strength
was like
this
mass was lower reps with more weight. Basically
no
when people do deadlift,
mass is
it's like
no, like if you're
oh,
doing
that's
strength,
crazy. Yeah, you're
you're
right.
doing you're doing strength, you're doing lower reps. You're doing like not even 4 to 6 reps. Like
You're
true
right. I
strength
got a
training is
backward.
like
I got a backward. That's
yeah,
interesting.
true strength is like
Go ahead.
literally 1 to 3 reps, 4 to 6 reps. If you're 4 to 6 reps is like a way probably like 80-90% strength and then 10% muscle building. And then as soon as you jump up to like 8 to 12, that's when you're doing like you're building the muscle. So like
Okay.
go in, do 4 sets on your buys, dude. It's all you're gonna need. Trust me, you're gonna feel it the next day. Do 4 sets on your buys, man. 4 sets on your tries, 8 to 12 reps,
But
and
what
then
I
call it.
that's a good
It
one, and I appreciate that. And but what I'm curious about now is like
mhm.
why was I so confused? Like my thought was like going back to a heuristic that I had understood was that um lighter weight with more reps built strength and more weight with less reps built mass. And I'm
I think it just
curious.
boils down to the fact that you had the concept confused.
Well, hold on,
Um,
hold on. And then now I want to hear what.
I'm all ears whenever you're ready to jump back to me. Just let me know.
No, what I'm saying, can you answer my question about the mass thing? Like more reps or less reps or whatever, like help me understand that.
you're asking me?
No worries, I'm here for you. Typically, when people talk about building strength, they mean heavier weights with fewer reps, like around 1 to 6 reps. For muscle growth mass, you often use moderate to heavy weights at about 8 to 12 reps. Higher reps with lighter weights can still build endurance and some strength, but not typically maximum strength or mass.
That basically confirms everything you just said, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
but
It sounds like
okay, woman,
if
shut
you've
up.
got
All right. So the reason behind the the strength gain is because when you're doing strength, you're going for um you're trying to do the most amount of weight you can in the littlest way possible, right? So you're going in there and you're doing like say normally you'd go in and you would do 8 to 12 reps of 150-pound deadlift,
Yeah.
right? Like you're gonna build muscle doing it, right? Because you're doing more reps. When you're going in and doing, say you jump it to 300 for 1 rep, right? Those 1 rep maxes, even though it's only 1 rep, is gonna build more strength because strength I don't think is necessarily like it's I feel like, and this is total bro terms, um I don't strength isn't necessarily connected to muscle growth, because
Right,
that's
right,
why you
right.
see people out there who are like super like don't look it, but they have like that fucking like ninja build, right? Where they're like they don't look like they're as strong as they are, but they're really super
Well, you
strong.
know what? You know what we used to call that when we were kids, don't you remember? We used to call it farmer strength.
Yeah. And that's kind of
The
and that's
farmers,
kind
like
of
the
what that
farm.
is.
Remember Curtis Toll, and he would beat
Yeah.
everybody at arm wrestling because he was just
He
he
didn't
had
beat me.
skinny.
I beat everybody in arm wrestling. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, whatever. He was fucking skinny, but he beat a lot of people that didn't really
Yep.
make
The
sense.
farmer strength. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, generally speaking, that is like strength is I've never looked into I'm going strictly based off of like lifting weights and doing strength. I've done strength training and I've seen people who strength train, and then I see people who build specifically for mass, and then of course that's what I do, right?
yeah,
Um like so I go into the gym, I see dudes in there who are doing more weight than me but look half my size.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's dependent on how you're training. So if I were to go in and just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do some strength training. Will you build muscle mass through that? Yeah, of course you're going to build muscle. But at the core of it, you're going to build more strength because the way you're working the muscle is completely different than how you're working it when you go in and build for mass. Like building for mass is based on like really how much blood can I get into this muscle and how much can I tear this muscle to make it grow.
Yeah.
Whereas strength is more about what what is the least amount I can do, and that's not like trying to be like, oh, I don't, because strength training is hardcore. It's like what is the least amount I can do with the most amount of weight.
Right.
And your muscle starts to adapt, right? It's like, okay, all of a sudden I'm doing strength training. So in 3 months doing strength training, you might you might build a little muscle, but your strength is going to skyrocket because that's what you're focusing on. You're not focusing on how many reps you can do. You're focusing on how much can I do with
Yeah.
this rep.
Yeah.
Whereas you going in and building mass, right? You're like, how many reps can I do of this weight? But you're not focusing on how much weight can I do for this many reps.